What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself. Bro, how are you doing? It's 2023, our first proper episode back.
Yeah, it is. I'm absolutely knackered already.
Yeah,
it's like 6 o'clock.
We're doing it at a weird time. Yeah. I'm dead. I'm on the verge of death anyway.
We both finished work just now. I spent in the middle of rush. Took me an hour to get here.
Yeah. This is going to take some getting used to, like you said.
Yeah, it is. Also, we got in here. We both got coughs. I immediately need to blow my nose.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I hate that sometimes do you know what triggers my cough a lot more?
All the penis.
That as well, yeah. When I was gargling, obviously. When I laugh, it hits a spot, and we naturally are funny guys. We try to make each other laugh, and then it just makes it worse. And I'm like, great. Everyone's just gonna have an episode of coughs and stuff like that. So
it's gonna be one of those. Yeah. Just bear with us. But we're back to bi-monthly episodes now.
Yes,
which is good. Better than one a month. We finally figured out like some times at work to move stuff around. We're here.
Yes,
we're ready to do it
for you guys.
How do we do this again?
Yeah, it's a good question. How about we start by thanking our boys over at patreon.com.
Nah.
What's Patreon?
I can't think of anyone.
Do we do that? Let's thank our super bros who support us at the $15 tier, our super bros, over at patreon.com/Conbrosations, where you guys can help keep the lights and mics on over here. They are Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Catsper the Friendly Patron, Mikey T, the Gamer Giant, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy Fanatic Joe McCormack Clark, the 53rd. My Juicy Left Nut, the super sexy producer Sean, and Gams Master, the leader of the Empire, the fearless one, the great Lord Vader himself, step cousin, who isn't really related to anyone of importance, is just likes to be there.
Gets invited to the barbecues, comes over for like those weird awkward Christmas dinners, like 2 days after Christmas.
He doesn't even get any of the Christmas photos. He's just like, oh, we forgot about you next year.
Would you mind taking the photo for us?
Yeah, that's it.
You're so good at it.
You're just so good at taking the pictures. We don't want to lose that artistic bit. Sorry, Gams Master. Yeah, so we're back. We're back to talk some gaming. I did want to start off quickly because it's not actually gaming related, but it's like to pet our egos a little bit.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Private Dingleberry wrote in and he said, no serious topics. Just wanted to say I'm very glad to see you boys back, and I can't wait to see what's to come up. And to see what's to come. Keep up the good shit. You're both doing great. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for the welcome.
Where was
back.
that message?
It was on Patreon.
What tier is he at?
Let me just see 1 second. There's a $1 tier.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, bro.
Exactly.
It's the level of abuse he was going to get.
If he was any... Sorry, $100. Sorry.
Who's this
This dickhead?
This fucking guy didn't even send us individualized messages?
It's not even personalized. It should have said to Eddie and then a personalized thing about my life.
Right.
Relating to me. And then another one,
the impacts we've had on his...
fucking guy.
Motherfucker.
The higher it is, the worse it is.
We need to get into that Findom stuff, man. I swear.
We do. Bro, how you doing?
Terrible.
That's good.
Yeah. Not too bad. I haven't done a bunch of gaming. I gotta be honest. I've been meaning to. I know. I mean, one of us. There's two types of gamers in the world. There's those that high five Ellie.
Oh, you had to go there.
And those that go for platinums.
It wasn't my fault, okay? If anything, it's Neil Druckmann's fault, okay?
I agree.
He made the trophy, forced me, literally came round to my house, tied my hands behind my back, and said, you cannot high five Ellie.
Yeah. I mean, fair.
Sorry. They were literally tied, behind my back. I could not do anything about it. Do you know what's bad, though, is that...
I bet that hurts.
Hurt.
Did she just like, oh, okay,
she was like, oh. Okay. And I was like, oh, fuck, I've just properly, hurt her. What was worse, though, is that Hooky and Mario were, the real ones, popped the trophy and then reload an order save and go back to give her the high five. And I was like, I didn't even do that. Oh, God, I'm a monster.
That's the way to do it, yeah. That's smart.
I didn't even think to do that.
I mean, that some of us have sex with girls, so, we don't... I wouldn't do it, but...
Exactly, I mean... that's the way it is.
So to continue, Haven't done a huge amount of gaming. I've been meaning to play The Last of Us because I've also been craving it.
It's a TV show, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I tried to get my girl to play it.
Yeah.
Obviously on super easy mode. One, because I'd like to see a playthrough with no glitches.
Uh-huh.
And two, just so she was like playing it. And she just doesn't. She's not a gamer. She's not gonna like come home and like, babe, I want to play it. Hang out with me, because obviously I wanted to watch her play it, you know, and experience it and stuff. So I was gonna play it, but never got round to it. And then I've been finishing off some God of War end game stuff. Like I did find the thing in the Raven area, you know.
Oh yeah.
That was like interesting. Let's say I think that's probably the most interesting one. I don't know if there's very many other Easter eggs, but
have you been to the crater yet?
With
in Vanaheim with the lightning?
With the lightning, yeah. Maybe
there's a lot of stuff to do there. That's quite a massive area.
Yeah,
but,
I definitely.
There's one storyline in there that's quite nice.
Oh yeah. I did the one where you find the guy who was going for a drink and stuff, and remember, So I found all that. Yeah, I did all that with Atreus. So.
Good. Oh, I see. That's the thing, because I fucking left it to the end of the game. I did it all with Freya, and I want to go back and do it now, but with Atreus, so I can get the different voice lines and find out what he says. Because it's very personal to him, and it's like, okay,
right,
this is probably going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I will say, since I was really cautious not to try and use every opportunity. Once you like have Freya, there's a point in the game where you're like, I don't think I'm going to be able to go and do much more after this. Like, and then you do actually get something with Loki.
Yeah.
Or Atreus, whatever his freaking name is.
Fucking, are you Odin? Are you fucking Odin? Are you fucking Hey, get him!
Talking to that, Easter egg, I don't know if you guys noticed, my brother noticed this and pointed it out to me. He was like, every time Tyr speaks, his name is Tyr. Every time they refer to Tyr, it's Ty with the accent.
The apostrophe thing on top.
So like the whole time, they're telling you that's not Tyr.
When I heard that, I went back and watched some of my gameplay footage, and I was like, it was one of those things where, you know, those memes you see where people are watching it and then they go, and then you look closer and it's like, you bitch, it was in front of my face the whole time.
And anyway, that was cool. But my point was, there was a couple of moments I was like, look, I'm just going to do this all with as much as I can with Atreus. So like initially the Herfelgurfers or whatever under the sand. Once I did that first one, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a bunch of this with Atreus, because Mimir says some really cool stuff when you come out of the first one. But then I realised that there probably was a point where we weren't turning back. And I was like, right, I'm 100%. I suspect there is some stuff going on in Vanaheim, because there's another lightning bolt that we've only ever seen that one other place. I'm going to do all of this with Atreus. So that was good. Took me a while. Obviously, that was before this.
It's a fucking huge area. I
remember
when I was like, I'm just gonna go do this one side quest and I'm gonna continue on everything like that, and then 16 more side quests get added to my log, and I'm like, come on.
What's frustrating is that is probably the easiest to miss area, because if you don't follow the dog, that's it. Then you go and play the rest of the game. Like you have to be me, who's like, oh look, a dog's running away, I'll just follow that, you know. Obviously I'm gonna do it. And there's this enormous area with like some really cool content there, and also that bigger guy. I don't know, I thought it was cool, his like thing.
He used to be a
So there's some cool stuff there.
We're trying to intentionally not be, even though it's been a fair bit, it's in that middle area where people
we don't want to be like openly talking about stuff
until we do the spoiler
Joel
cast.
dies.
It's not
so that bugs me, how easy to miss that whole section is. I feel like you shouldn't have been allowed to leave without following the dog, and then you can go back.
See, this is the thing. When I said it, I was like, I don't know why this is side content. Like, I actually got Bruno Valquez, one of the, like, I think he's an animation director for God of War. He messaged me. He was like, we don't regard that as side content. We regard that as, like, part of the game. And I was like, yeah, but it's... I get what you mean, and I think it's just as good.
It is part of the game.
But it isn't part of the game, is it? It's something I can miss. And I was like, why is it though? Because it's so core part of the... Like, it could be part of the story easily.
At no point does anyone say like, hey... I mean, someone says, we should look for him or something, right? There's that. But unless you follow that dog, seriously, that entire area, it's like somebody should have said, "Hey, that's really unusual. The dog that only activates its senses or whatever, that only cares about this one thing."
Or at least make it mandatory for you to go down there.
Yeah.
And then when you see the open area, like you get back Birger and whatever his name is,
Or
you get him back, but then you suddenly notice there's this huge area with all these things. You're like, okay, I can come back here.
It should have been,
but no,
because everybody's like licking their wounds, right?
Yeah.
It should have been a mandatory discover Birger's fate,
Yeah.
right? To heal the crew, and then you're like, cool, you can choose not to go. And look, I love discovering stuff, but the fact I know there are people that didn't discover that, that bugs me.
Yeah. That
really bugs me, and that we don't consider it side content. Then why can I miss it?
Yeah.
Sorry, but
technically. I've been playing The Last of Us because of the TV show, and I've just been feeling to play it. What's really weird is that I picked it. I started playing it a while ago and then dropped it because I was playing other stuff like Callisto Protocol and whatnot. And then when episode 2 came round, and then the events of episode 2 happened, it happened to line up with the moment that I finished playing in the game.
Oh, sick.
And I was like, oh shit, I can just pick this up and go along like that. And I finished the game, and I'm going for the platinum now, so I'll be able to do that. Got nearly all the trophies.
That's cool. What was cool, so my girlfriend did play a little bit. She got the intro with Sarah.
Yeah.
And we obviously watched that in the first episode, which I thought episodes 1 and 2 were brilliant. I haven't seen episode 3 yet. So I know that it's been controversial. It's been controversial and such a... oh my God. Go on, finish what you can say. We're going to talk about it later anyway. What was cool was that I told her, because she had seen that whole first bit and she'd played it, and that... we talked about this, I think, on the Conbrosations podcast. But as the thing happened, she turned to me and was like, "Babe, she missed it. She fucking missed it. I'm never gonna forgive her for that."
That's unforgivable. So I'm sorry to hear you guys are breaking up.
Yeah, thank you.
We can find.
I'm
someone
not even
else.
burying the body. I'm just gonna leave it out there for the crows.
Exactly. So can someone out there find Sheps a proper gamer girl so we can fucking heal ourselves?
So it was funny because she was like, "That's not how it happened in the game." I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I expect that there will be some big differences. We already know, like the spores, for example."
Yes.
And I was like, I have to say the game did it better for that intro section. Like the plane crashing was just kind of ridiculous, and then the whole the way it bugged me because in the game it was done really well. Where like you're going through the town and then a car crashes into you and you roll
like petrol station explodes and stuff like that. Yeah,
and then in the show it's like 3 planes crash out the sky and the engine of one like comes and bounces off a wall and knocks the car over. It was just stupid. Anyway, haven't seen episode 3 yet. What I heard was
we'll talk a little bit about it in a second if you want to hold on to that. We'll get out of this intro section and whatnot.
Sorry, you were saying though.
But other than that, you're doing okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean to co-opt the "what are you playing" bit, but I had to talk about my freaking girlfriend. Why do they do that? Why do people do that? Don't talk to me ever again, woman.
Girlfriends are like that. The key moments, like they're asking questions and talking.
It's like it's building up to this thing.
Yeah, I wonder how because the funny thing is, it seems so easy to me to detect when okay, this is a crucial moment coming up
to it.
There's a crescendo coming up here, or like they're talking and now's not the best time to talk. They can't get it.
They can tell though because they're like, what do you think's gonna happen?
They get that urge inside. They can't filter it. They're just
when you want to talk, instead of talking, just shut the fuck up and watch the show. Anyway, sorry, you were playing. No,
I've actually spoke about all I speak about that. I'm playing The Last of Us. It's beautiful. It just does look. It's funny because I'm going to compare it to a game that we talk about later. It is just gorgeous on the remake and whatnot. The way the character models look, the way that the environment is just so lush, so realistic.
That's the reason I want to go back and play it. Because I played The Last of Us 2 on a PS4. Day one PS4. That thing had been beaten to hell, right? Yeah. I had one texture pop. And one weird glitch I had to reset, turn off, turn on.
Was the glitch Abby having sex with? I don't even remember the guy's name. It's a weird glitch. It's so strange. Yeah, it's so forgettable.
Yeah, that was. I don't know why they needed to include that. Really,
they already were having was that before they established their romance? Because when they were kids, they were flirting.
Yeah, and
I don't remember.
And as Mr.
Spoilers for the
romance simulator guy, I want romances in my games. I think it makes sense. Where they make sense, I want them. that didn't add anything, right? Whereas like the Ellie stuff, and that Left Behind DLC,
Left Behind, yeah.
Like
that really added to her.
Like I'm cool with all of that.
Yeah.
I felt the Abby stuff was just. I mean, they were going for like, it's human and raw, but like
that's it. They were trying to humanize Abby, and to some people it worked.
I feel like the fact that her and the dog liked each other was probably the most human
pretty
bit.
Good. Yeah,
you know,
that would be pretty good.
Anyway, besides the point.
Yes, that's what we've been playing. That's what we've been doing.
How have you been finding Callisto Protocol, by the way?
Do you know what? I played a little bit of it.
That's where I was going with that. Sorry, I played The Last of Us 2 on a PS4 day one of release, and it still looked gorgeous and it ran smoothly. And I really want to play The Last of Us Part 1 like properly in like 60 FPS, with just in my head the verticality and the movement is there from The Last of Us 2,
right?
But obviously it isn't there because it's a much more basic game. My big complaint with the game is that it's very basic. Because you've got like your options are throw a brick. Yes, it's always the brick, not the bottle.
Yeah. No, there's a bottle. Come and get out of here.
You throw the brick, and then you can either punch, stab, shoot, or run away and get behind a box. That's all you have, and 4 enemy types. So yeah, I really want to do that. Anyway, sorry, please continue.
I think that's everything I wanted to say about The Last of Us. Oh yeah, Callisto Protocol. I played a little bit of it and then I stopped. Do you know what it was? It's similar because you asked me this about Dead Space.
Yeah.
You said, am I excited to play Dead Space? And I asked you if you wanted to play it because we usually buy the game together and then we share it and we do what we got to do for the show. I didn't grow up with Dead Space as like my stuff. I know that's what it is. I played it, but it wasn't when I was mature enough as a gamer. That was back when I was like, I'm playing Call of Duty and I've been told these other games are cool, but I don't really understand them and I don't really understand the appeal. Until I played like, it must have been like The Last of Us or something like that, when I really started to understand, and then I really
some real
started to pick up some games. I was like, okay, I know story-based games are clearly better than just a multiplayer endless shooter type thing.
What you're saying is you were one of those gamers who, for you, the point was to play the game, not to get like the cutscenes. Whereas actually, when you played The Last of Us or something, the point is to experience your way to cutscenes, to experience more of the game.
Exactly. It's all supposed to gel together at one point. But mine was just like, okay, so I'm this guy in a suit and my health bar's on the back and I shoot these monster things. Cool. All right. And I'm done. Okay, that's the end of that. And I didn't really see much to it. So I've still got it and I still haven't finished it. Although, do you know what? I do like, it's got Sam Witwer in it, and I'm a Sam Witwer simp, so I might just finish it just because it's got him in it, which is a funny thing, but yeah, there we go.
Cool. Well, I mean, that's been a weird game. A lot of people have had like mixed feelings about it. A lot of people say it's not as good as Dead Space, and you'd ask me, you're excited for Dead Space, and I'm like, kind of. Because I've already played Dead Space. They made 2 incredible games. It's pity they never made a third.
Yeah, they just decided not to,
And I played the shit out of those games. So, and I hate horror, by the way. They were that good. So, like, kind of. But it does look incredible. Oh my god, does it look good?
That's what I've heard. The atmosphere that they've put into it, like the like fogging and the.
I've also heard that the changes that they have made have only made it better. Which is tough because it was a really good game.
What is it with EA? How have they suddenly just like... They went from, single-player games are dead. No one cares about them anymore. We don't even care about them anymore. To suddenly producing like a couple of back-to-back bangers like Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order did bang.
This as well. They were going to do Jedi Survivor as well, which presumably will be just as good as the first one, if not better. I'm just how are you guys doing this?
By the end of it, Battlefront 2, which is technically EA, I know DICE made it, but like that ended up being a really good game and beautiful and very true to the IP. The single player sucked.
Yeah.
Except it had that gorgeous chick in it. What's her name?
Gina Gavanka?
That sounds right.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm bad with names, so this is odd.
But it's something like that. She's so pretty.
Yeah, she's so pretty.
And talented, like actually genuinely talented actually. Besides the point.
Yes.
Dead Space. Kind of. Actually, what are we going to do with Dead Space?
I don't know. I don't have the urge to play it, especially because... Sorry, I'm just dying over here.
You won't make it. Yeah.
I'm going to be dead by the time we download it. I'm planning on getting a PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah.
And that's coming out on the 22nd of February.
Yep.
And...
Mate, if you play Dead Space on that, you will die. You'll actually have a heart attack.
I will. I can't take it anymore. I'm not as young as I used to be. I God, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So the previews that have come out so far, unanimously,
Yeah.
people are saying it's fantastic.
Sick.
There was a guy, Ryan McCaffrey from IGN. He is, I won't say he's got as far as to say he's like an Xbot, but he does predominantly support Xbox, and not often do you hear too many good things about PlayStation come from him. He played PlayStation VR 2 and he played GT 7 and he jumped in a DeLorean, and he used to own a DeLorean. That's like cool. 5 years ago or something like that. And
Why
he was
would you
like,
get rid of that?
Right. Anyway, he goes, I felt genuinely like I was back in my DeLorean. Like, obviously you don't know if you don't have a DeLorean, but when I got in it, I was like, I feel at home. It is right there. It's flashing away. No, but he was like, I feel like I'm actually in it. It was uncanny. And apparently fidelity's beautiful. And then you're talking about Call of the Mountain, Horizon Call of the Mountain. Apparently that's really good.
Do you know what I want to play?
Go on.
Is a jet ski simulator. That would be good for me.
That will be great for you. You love the motion, don't you? You want to feel
Love it.
The lack of wind.
I actually already feel sick thinking about that.
Do you know what game I'm looking forward to actually on PSVR 2? This is going to sound so dumb. It's called Cities VR. It's essentially a simulator where you're building cities. You build your own town, your own cities, power grid,
so like
water.
Sims city builder type thing.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is. And I'm going to be just that as God, just going around like building things.
You say it sounds silly, but I could see not you, royal you, a person, me even, like a Jurassic Park world builder or something, where like you do stuff and then the T-Rex go out again. You know? And do you know what would be cool? Shit. Nah, I'm not going to pretend designer of Jurassic Park. I was just thinking, like, wouldn't it be funny to, like, you do this stuff, then of course they get out and eat all the stuff. Then you have to go to a whole section of hiring again. So, like, what do you change? Do you change your marketing? Do you change your budget? Because you need more stuff, and they're always going to die.
God damn it, they're always getting eaten.
Like the frickin' uniform mandatory stab proof vests.
Yeah,
you know,
mandatory. Yeah. Everyone's walking in with fucking bomb suits.
yeah.
Stop making me laugh. In fact, it was me that made me laugh. Anyway, bro.
Yes.
Let's quickly say thank you to our true gamers who support us over at Patreon, who support us at the $5 tier, who get this podcast a day early before everyone else.
Unlike those peasants over on youtube.com/Conbrosations one.
Exactly. But we're probably going to have to move this podcast, instead of it coming out on Saturday, we'll probably come out on a Sunday so people can get it on Saturday on Patreon.
That's definitely not going to hurt our views on YouTube.
Definitely not. No, that's okay. Adam Sunling, Gams Master, Sheps' Krusty Rat Nut, Isak Manny, Mikey T, Sab2557, Joe McCormack, Gerald Tuckle, Fishy, The Jackal, Adam Sunling, Max H, Alpha Aquilala, Cobra SS, Sam Mason, and Super Whale Ben. Thank you so much for keeping up the support, guys. And very sorry that I didn't hit pause on the January Patreon thing. If any of you have any problems, please message me. We don't care. We'll give you the money back.
Oh, you mean it rolled over? Yeah.
Yeah, especially
we're
every single month.
We don't care about that.
We're not gonna for what, like the couple bucks that you guys send us or whatever. We're not gonna burn a bridge because of that. You know what I mean? So any problems at all, message us. Except for Cobra SS, you can get fucked.
Actually, anyone at Super Bro tier, I mean, it's your own fault. You know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys, you waited 7 months for some t-shirts.
Exactly.
Dickheads.
You know how incompetent we are.
In fairness, that one actually wasn't us.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That really wasn't us.
Okay, let's get on with the show.
Let's do it. We're only an hour, half an hour, and it's fine.
Don't worry about it. First topic. The Last of Us TV show.
Yeah.
So how much do you want to talk about the third episode since you haven't seen it?
So I suspect there's no real spoilers to be had in it.
Especially because you played the game.
Yeah, exactly. I've played the game. We can do full spoilers because I'm going to watch it and enjoy it anyway, I think. My understanding, we'll do what I have heard and then you can tell me what we think.
There you go.
What I have heard is essentially it has... the big hubbub is there's a gay love story, right? And it isn't Ellie. It's two dudes.
I won't correct anything. You say everything.
Yeah, this is what I've heard, right? The big thing that I've heard of like people's complaints is that it's two things. One, some people say like, "Oh, it beats you over the head with the gay thing," which I mean, having not seen it, I could understand that because like Ellie's gay. We make a big deal of it in the second game. It's like pretty in your face now. They've already started doing it, in the second episode where the girl, Tess asks her, got no parents, no boyfriend waiting for you, and she's like, no.
I thought it was weird that she asked if there's a boyfriend waiting for her. I was like, she's a fucking child.
I mean, she's 13, but 14.
14 still. The boy.
Well,
Maybe because I've got a daughter, maybe I'm thinking of it that way or
Yeah.
something. I'm like, she's a fucking child.
She's not going to be dating for another 25 years.
Exactly.
So like we're already getting that in the show, so I can kind of see that. But what I heard was the big sort of takeaway was that rather than it giving you extra insight into the game and into these characters, it was just a bottle episode. It was a big takeaway, step off to the side, had nothing really to do with what we're interested in, which is Ellie and Joel and their the sort of conflict that will become going in the same way, that will become like a father-daughter story. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
So partially
Yeah.
right there. Let me just see. There was somebody who wrote in about The Last of Us. Is it on?
It's a good thing you waited for me to finish my whole ignorant comments before you looked for this guy's comment. Anyway, that's what I heard. I can understand how, to me, I don't really care about the gay thing.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the whole Last of Us 2 starts with this big blowout because of something happens at the bar.
Kisses Dina at the
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. And we know she's gay, and like it's all cool, right?
Yeah.
Also, one of the things I loved about The Last of Us is that they don't beat you over the head with it. She's just gay.
It's just a love. It's a normal.
It's just love,
Yeah.
and she happens to be that way. We know that. I think we know that Joel is straight, but it wouldn't make any difference. Like we don't care. It's just who the character is, and what I've heard is it's just this big focus on the fact. It's like what I heard from somebody was that it was well done, but the point, the episode was just like they might have had a buzzer going off, going, by the way, they're gay. These two dudes are gay.
So this is the thing. It's close, right? In my opinion, this is obviously everyone has their own opinions. I liked the romance. I loved the love story.
I love gay romance.
It was beautiful. Actually, genuinely, one of the most beautiful loves I've seen in a long time. It's so good, so good. And the fact that the episode was well paced. It was like. It wasn't like a rush. It wasn't like all of a sudden they're lovers or something like that.
That's the bit that
so
made
beautiful,
me go.
and they had those little moments. And I won't say what they specifically were, but they had these little moments. And I was like, God, this is good.
That's the bit that made me go. I'm not sure maybe it wasn't what you were expecting. That's why you didn't like it, because it doesn't sound like the show that I've been watching.
Exactly. Yeah. The only problem, and this is, I've voiced my opinions on this, and I've seen other people voice opinions on this, and unfortunately. If anyone is like this, please take a moment, take a breath, and think about it, because it's very wrong what you're doing. When they hear any criticism of this episode, they automatically jump to homophobia, even though their point isn't homophobic related. So, my point, for example, is that they made it about them two being in love. However, it didn't pertain to the story. It was very detached from everything. Like, we saw Joel and Ellie come in once or twice, but had they not been there, it wouldn't have made a big difference.
Right.
Now, they did what I was looking from this show was to fill out some of the interconnected parts so that we don't see from the game. So, for example, when you go see Bill at the thing, all you hear is that he mentions Frank and his partner, and he's dead, he's killed himself, and that's it. And you hear that Bill owes Joel big time. And you're like, ooh, shit, so I would love to know what the story is right here. And they go into the fact that Frank was his lover, they had a relationship together, they were in this town and they lived together and it was beautiful and everything like that. But it never ties into The Last of Us.
Yeah,
and
that's
it never
a big
ties.
problem.
The only time that it ties into The Last of Us is that the fact that he's setting up traps, so for infecting stuff like that. And raiders come for one night and it's fairly inconsequential.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
What I was expecting was that we would maybe find out why Joel
absolutely
owes him big time.
Yeah.
Maybe he saved his boyfriend, husband. I think they don't get married, I think, but
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. They're in love. That his lover,
his guy. Yeah.
If he saved him in a crucial moment, like he fought raiders to go get medicine to save his life or something like that. Yeah. That's why he owed him big time. Like, makes sense. That's beautiful. That's amazing. But
that's why this key thing is available in the game, because we saw Joel do this.
Exactly. Or if the death of Frank, we find out how that happened and what the turn was. That maybe in the last moments something happened and he just decided he wanted to kill himself or something like that. Whatever it is, but we don't find that out. And that's the part that bit annoyed me. I was like, I don't mind the fact that it was different. I don't mind the fact that it had a homosexual relationship in it. It was fucking gorgeous.
It's The Last of Us.
And it's The Last of Us. We've had to wait till they find out about Ellie again.
Right.
That's the usual thing people said. But it's just
exactly.
It's just that it seemed like the best filler episode ever.
Yeah.
Because it didn't... It gave the like, oh, this is a sweet moment in a dark world, but that's the maximum it went. And that's the reason why I didn't think it was the best episode. Yeah. I didn't think it was a 0 out of 10. I'm not gonna go on IMDb and fucking review bomb it and shit like that. But
is it worth watching?
Definitely, 100%, 100%. I mean, just that episode alone is better than a lot of TV that's out right now. Yeah. Better than the entire CW.
And what they're going to be making as well.
Better than whatever James Gunn's got in the DC universe coming up.
So, like, that's a better way to say what I was saying. You summed up way better. Was that people had said it doesn't tie in. So, like, it's like, here's The Last of Us. By the way, take a look at this thing.
Yes.
And it's like, also somebody told me it was basically, it was hard to realize you're in a zombie apocalypse. So they mentioned it a couple of times, but it could have effectively just been like a very rural gay love story. Apart from the odd trap.
It was like, so well guarded that you were in your own town. And it was big enough that it was like you never saw... I rarely saw the fences. That's the thing. That's what the issue was.
Obviously, I will be watching it.
It makes sense as well. When you see the episode, you'll understand. Like, you said how when we saw Bill... it looked very clean in the background.
Yes.
That part is different from the game, and you'll see why, and it makes sense and stuff like that. And it's very cool.
So if you don't know, we'd seen screenshots from the show, and we saw Bill behind this, he was in front of this white building, presumably a church or something.
It is, but you'll see.
Okay, cool. It's a big white building. And I had said, and I think Mario as well, we were like, this is 20 years into an apocalypse. Why is the paint perfect? Why is it clean? And I think we had said at the time, maybe it's a flashback, but like, even still, it was weird because I don't want to see present day stuff from it. I want to see... And I love that aesthetic. I love that, like, the moss growing over the rusted out cars, and like, that's what I want it to look like. So anyway, I will watch it. What I'll probably do is wait for the next episode to come out, so me and my chick can go from that presumably into more action. But yeah, we will be watching it.
Well, we'll say episode's a tearjerker.
Is that the only thing you were jerking?
I mean, let's not be...
Talking of gay love stories...
Have you seen that they both have magnificent beards? Oh,
that guy whose name I forget, Ron Swanson?
Offerman.
Offerman. Yeah. He has the most incredible beard. It's actually really annoying.
He's so well.
He's very good.
In this, he's such a different character to what he's playing. So, like The Rock plays The Rock.
Yeah. And The Rock plays The Rock wearing the same set of clothes.
Exactly. Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
This is something Offerman, whatever his name is. He played... Nick Offerman, that's it. Yeah, I've seen him in other things. He's played this like really cool sort of older man. Yeah. But he's such a different character and so beautifully done.
Similar thing... I Love You, Philip Morris is a great movie. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it? One, it's absolutely hilarious, and two, it's Ewan McGregor and Jim Carrey. I think. Yeah. It is one hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. The opener killed me.
Yeah,
me for like 2 minutes.
I'm sorry, you're not human if you don't laugh at that moment.
Died laughing.
Just say it.
Died laughing.
We should explain it. It's an old movie.
No.
Oh no? Okay. No. If you want, go search for
it. You gotta go watch it. I died laughing.
Volume all the way down, or with headphones. In a room in a corner, no parents.
No, invite your parents and to watch it. Anyway, the movie's hilarious. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and one of the cutest, sweetest like love stories. And him and Ewan are Jim Carrey and Ewan are so good together.
Say his name, god damn it! He played Mr. Robotnik in Sonic. Okay,
I heard he was the best thing.
You use his name with respect.
Well, I was like, it's so obvious that Jim Carrey is him. With a capital H. He's literally God.
He was God at one point.
God, I'm just going to have to watch the entire catalogue of movies.
Yeah, Bruce Almighty. That's great.
So good. Anyway, besides the point, fantastic gay love story. Cute, hilarious. Just also based on the real events.
Is it? Is actually? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Philip Morris, I think he's still alive.
Does he actually say come? I don't want to say I did find the comment. It was from Gamsmaster. He said, "G'day, bros. How you doing? Not bad." Wait, he's answering the question. Oh, hope you're doing not bad. Okay. He's saying, hope you're doing not bad. Fucking hate Aussies. I'm sure you've already touched on this, but what are your thoughts on the Last of Us TV show so far? I'm personally very happy with the changes made for the TV show, and the way the story has been portrayed so far is amazing. I can't wait to see where they go from here. That's one point I wanted to raise. When the first episode came out, everybody praised it, how faithfully it followed the game. And they were like, oh my God, it's like almost 1 for 1. Oh my God, that's so good. And the second episode, almost 1 for 1. That's so great.
Very good, very close.
And then when the third one comes out, people are like, "Oh, well, you can't expect it to be the game." And I'm like, "What?
Hold on a minute.
We just did it for 2 episodes.
Hold on a minute.
You can't blame me for going. Oh, I wish they followed the game. You can't." People are like, "Oh, you're being dramatic." Oh, and then the worst people are like, "Oh, it's because of the homophobia love story." So no one cares.
That's something that bugs me.
It's really bad.
I have problems with. Well, I have problems with The Last of Us 1, the original.
Yeah.
Right? Mostly gameplay. Oh, you just don't like the gay love story. No, that's got nothing to... In fact, one of the highlights is the DLC.
Yeah.
So, I can have reasonable problems with something, like if you have a problem with an actor and they're gay. No, I have a problem with the actor. I don't care who he takes to bed.
This is the thing. Maybe this is the father in me speaking out. As young kids, I want to impart some wisdom on you. It really damages the cause of gay people, of chances in the future, of all TV show, of gamers, whatever it is that the issue is going to be about. It really damages when you add your own sort of thing to something. So if someone has a problem with this, unless they say something like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I hate all this gay nonsense," then unless they say something like that, you can't bring up that it's something that isn't. Okay, you can suspect, but unless they say something, you can't. Otherwise, you're damaging the cause yourself. Many people, because you put it on gay people,
use it as a crutch.
Exactly. Gay people then look like they have no defense for anything, and they're just going to pull out that card all the time because you keep bringing that. It's not a good idea.
That does make it sound like, oh, poor homosexuals. They can't
defend themselves. They can't do anything, can they? We have to defend them.
They've been dealing with enough bad treatment. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's regressive as a society. We need to come above that.
Ironically, we will come above it.
Oh,
Ironically, my gay mates, I'm going to his wedding, and they're really tight for people, so I don't have a +1, so I can't bring my chick. So me and my brother are going, and I have yet to...
Oh, when did you guys meet? That's what they're going to say.
And she's going to... She's 100%... she's 100% going to ask if it's all just guys going. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, probably not. I think so. Yeah, maybe, but
there'll be one drunk girl in the corner, when girls go to gay bars or something like that.
Right. Like, shit. Anyway, just those.
Anyway, the TV show is doing absolutely fantastic. It's so refreshing because we did have our doubts going into this. We did say, though, that of all the TV shows that PlayStation is planning to do of video games, this was the one that had the strongest chance. So there is still that in my mind. But TV shows, they can be good. This is proof they can be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The big thing, though, and this has always been the thing, is how do they end? Ending something is really, really difficult. Ending it was very difficult. And I think Game of Thrones Season 8 is the perfect example of it. Game of Thrones wasn't the perfect show. It ran a little bit long. They put a bit of filler in. But that final season, absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. And the worst thing is, they did so much stuff that your reasonable complaints do come across sexist. Because all the reasonable complaints are about the fact, for example, big complaint of mine, Arya takes the kill, steals the kill, right? Oh, you just hate women. No. I feel like the story had a natural progression to it.
Yeah.
And a very clear, very obvious...
It was very clear who was going to be doing that. Well, in fact, it was two people, in my opinion.
I actually would have been okay with her coming in and getting the last blow.
Yeah.
But somebody else should have gone toe-to-toe with this guy for a big minute.
Yeah, if it was at least like a big battle.
Let's get the finish.
Yeah.
And then also... The end. I'm trying not to give away too much spoilers, but the end.
I don't think anyone gives a fuck about
the
Girls.
stuff with
they ruined it for themselves.
Khaleesi, what's her actual name in the show? Daenerys.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of her real name.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke. Yeah.
The way that ends, that sucked, and the way her character just falls off a cliff. Effectively, she doesn't fall off a cliff in the show if you haven't seen it, but like, she just becomes Hitler overnight, Dragon Hitler. Like, it sucks. So the worst thing is they took away all the agency from all the characters. Yeah. So Arya stealing the kill. There was no reason for her to do it. They just make her do it. Jon got nothing and then goes away like an incel.
Yeah.
And freaking what's her face just becomes Hitler and then gets shanked.
But shit. The disabled boy, what was his name? The guy who was paralyzed. He becomes king of the North. So that's right.
Makes no sense. Also, that's a terrible.
Cool, guys.
I have heard
the way he's like, "Will you be king?" It's like, "Why do you think I came all this way, bitch? No one thought that. No one thought that."
Also, you're not having kids. You're too weird to have kids. Let's assume your junk works, which we know it doesn't. We've been specifically told it doesn't. So you've got 40 years before the kingdom immediately turns back the way it was. You are not, and it's everything you did undone.
We should consider other options.
Just saying. So, but I do think, just on that note, but it has nothing to do with Last of Us and video game shows, but with the books still yet to come out, there is probably a deal where the shows have to be different enough from the books so that people still buy the books. That is a real thing that happens. Sorry about the coughs, guys.
Yeah, really sorry.
That is a real thing that happens. However, question for you.
Yeah.
On like video game shows made from video games, how do you feel about them departing from the show? So like the tendril thing, I thought that was a good, if you were going to change it, I like the way that they did it. Personally, I prefer the spores. I think they add an element of dread to the game, to the world. Like, it's not even safe to breathe. And I'm a little bit bored of the whole zombie horde thing.
Yeah.
Which is what the tendrils give us. However, if you're going to change it, I don't see you doing a better version than that. It was a good way to do it. It fit with the whole it's a fungus thing. And that whole intro thing, the intro of that fungus moving around, which is real, by the way. That really exists, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So they made it. So how do you feel about like making those adjustments so that we have a creative vision, or so that we're slightly different from the games?
I said this before. I don't understand why you're doing a video game adaptation. Then I don't understand.
We're on the same page.
A book adaptation, you need to. Like, a book isn't in your mind, isn't like there for you to see, isn't there. It's whatever you make it up to be, but every person is different. Everyone's imagination is different, so you're never going to satisfy everyone.
There's going to be some creative differences, like visually, like Hagrid, for example. Although they nailed Hagrid, he would look potentially different to other people in their head.
I don't even know who Hagrid is. What are you talking
Weirdly, this is a question I'm going to just throw out there. I presume that people read and cast, unless they're specifically told the race or something, cast people as they look. Yes. So if you're black and you read Harry Potter, unless you're specifically told most of them are white, but like
you would do that for people, especially when they don't specifically say. You probably would stick that in your head because that's what you identify and how people you see in your family and shit like that.
I just think it's cool that there's Black Grid out there.
Yeah.
In someone's head. He's just like, Black Grid's a 7 foot. Well, Shaquille O'Neal with a beard.
Safe.
Who can do like magic.
Yes. And he's got like a boombox. And he like puts it above his head. And sparks come out of it. And he says, I am Shazam.
No one gets that. No one's going to get that.
No kids are going to understand what that means.
No one's going to get that.
Oh my God, I got really dizzy for a second there. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Jesus Christ. I'm back to normal though.
Anyway, I picked Harry Potter, by the way, because there's this controversy about...
we're going to talk a little bit about Harry Potter in a sec.
Cool.
Hogwarts Legacy in a sec.
Then we're sort of on... But just a little bit of we might as well stay spicy. There was the stage adaptation. They cast a black woman who's apparently fabulous as Hermione. And then everybody was like up in arms, like, Hermione is white. One, it's a stage adaptation. There's way more... Like, this isn't a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, and apparently she was fantastic, by the way.
The acting pool for stage shows are very limited. And
And this is good. So one, a lot of people are like, well, Hermione's never described in the books. Actually, she is. She totally is. And two, ironically, J.K. Rowling came out and was like, I never said she was white. So a black woman can totally do the thing. And it was like, yay, J.K. Rowling. And then Hogwarts. So I just thought, what a weird.
It's these inconsistencies that make me just go, okay, I can't take anything.
It's hypocrisy that we don't like. Anyway, how are you feeling about Hogwarts Legacy?
So that's actually a question here from Corwin, our boy.
Okay. He's pretty excited about it, isn't he?
Exactly. He says, thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy in general. Do you think it looks good? Plan on playing it, etc.? I know I plan on playing it. It looks awesome. So I hate everything Harry Potter related, so I don't give a shit.
It's true. You just can't stand it.
Fuck it.
By the way, there's a Harry Potter anime I want to show you. No.
I would rather toast my penis. Do you know what the problem is that
it's probably going to be game of the year, isn't it?
That's the thing.
You have to play it.
I don't. There's sometimes these things can miss.
Yeah.
But usually when you get a big enough IP, people put a lot of effort into it. They're like, we paid tons of money for this IP. Let's put a lot of effort into it.
And from what we've seen of it, it looks really good as well.
Even though it's for nerds and it's all like wizards and fucking, I want to Expelliarmus. Quidditch, oh my god, I'm a Thika.
Apparently there's no
guy.
Quidditch in the game though, I'm sorry.
Well, there you go, you losers, what you doing now?
You only watched the movies, didn't you? You never read the books.
Yeah, and I wish I didn't.
I sent you that TikTok, didn't I? It was this person about Hermione in the show. Oh, hey, I found Rita Skeeter and she's in this jar. And then Hermione in the show, in the books, like, I've captured her and like if she escapes, she's going to be jinxed and stuff. Anybody that signs this and tells, they'll have boils on their face. And you're like, man, I wish it was in the movies, but it was in the books. This is the thing. If you adapt a book into a movie, you only have so much time.
Exactly. Have you ever gone to the Hogwarts studios? Or
No, I kind of want to, but I'm also like, I wish I'd done it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
I went there and at the beginning they do this joke every single time because I've been there twice now.
Cool. Why have you been twice?
Yeah, I went there one time. I think I might go with like an ex-girlfriend, and then my mum found out that I went without her, and she was like, "How could you?" And I'm like, "Fine, for your birthday,
I was literally trying to get laid.
Exactly. In the back by Hogsmeade, you know.
Yeah, buddy.
I gave her a butterbeer and then she was good to go. By the way, those things are disgusting. Way too sweet.
Oh, really?
They make this joke. They sit you down in a theater and there's sort of like this grand thing, and it's got like almost like a cinema screen, and they tell you about like safety things, like it's exits all over the place. If you need any help, tell someone. And if everyone's ready to go, let's watch all 7 films back to back. All right, see you later. And I'm like, no.
At least it's not Lord of the Rings.
And then they just lift up the screen and the door opens and you go in. And I'm like, you fucking got me there. You fucking got
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Interesting. Okay. Medium spice now, because we touched on the J.K. Rowling thing.
Yes.
People are talking about boycotting the game.
Yes.
Now,
can I explain that to everyone?
Sure.
So J.K. Rowling, for those of you guys that don't know, has been saying she's been a bit too vocal for someone who I don't give a fuck about, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if anyone cares about rich people that much for them to talk so much about it. Just shut up and go and play with your Lambo, whatever the fuck you're doing. Yeah. She said some stuff about trans people, saying stuff about like they aren't real women, etc. Really offending a lot of people.
And the worst thing as well, she came in at an area, like most things are a spectrum, right?
Yes.
She came in starting in an area about like, I think it was trans women in sports.
Yes.
Complicated topic. And then ended up with like, you'll never be a real woman. Like, fuck, you said that on Twitter, didn't you, JK?
It went off the rails. And I was like, okay, all right, let's move on.
Maybe
now.
we should shut the fuck up for somebody that writes children books and became a billionaire out of it. Maybe you just mind your own business.
It's that freedom she feels like she has now.
Fucking white women, man. I'm telling you.
I was gonna say, women in general feel like they have they don't need to be accountable for anything. When you're rich and you're a Karen like she is. Mate. Oh my god, even worse. Just the worst combination.
What do you think the K stands for? Actually, it might. Hold on a minute.
Joanne,
1 second.
Karen Rowling.
What does the K in JK?
Just say it is. Just say it is.
Please.
What's her full name? Please say it. Has to be Karen.
Come on. Where is it?
Is it like a state secret?
Apparently it's Kathleen. That's pretty close.
Good enough right then.
Karen.
Anyway, she said some stuff on Twitter. A lot of people got offended. Now, a bunch of people...
She said some stuff even I was like, whoa, hold on.
Even Sheps, and he's a fucking loser. But everyone said, all right, look, if we buy Hogwarts Legacy, it's supporting J.K. Rowling because eventually she will get money from that, royalties and etc., stuff like that. So everyone should boycott the game.
So we're in a weird spot here because we came out and said like boycott Ubisoft.
Do you know what? I
think it's different.
It is different.
I think it's totally different.
It is different.
I want to hear what you think.
But also, I kind of do regret a little bit of the Ubisoft one. Not the fact that they're stupid people and whatnot.
I don't at all. I feel like I've doubled down on my Ubisoft position, and I'm going to justify buying.
Well, I'd like to hear that. Anyway.
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I think that the people working there are still people working there. There's still going to be, like, people rely on this stuff because one person says something stupid, all these people shouldn't suffer.
Yeah.
And a potentially good studio shouldn't have to shut down because they've now paid millions for this IP and they can't make everything back. They are going to make everything back.
Of course they will, yeah.
It's all like a
worst
non-issue.
case it actually works.
Exactly. Then it's stupid. What makes their argument even worse, when I say their argument, the people who are trying to boycott the game, they've gone beyond saying boycott the game because
if you don't boycott the game, you want to lynch
your trans
people.
You are and I'm like,
you're right, but
what it was,
I'm sorry.
What it was I felt like they saw they weren't gaining any traction. They got frustrated, and I really sympathize with that. I do. However, you can't do that.
It's like what we were saying about you can't saying you can have an actual criticism and not be homophobic about that episode of The Last of Us.
Unless these people actually say, I'm buying it because I want to support anti-trans rights. Unless that's the reason.
If they say I'm buying it specific for no other reason than I agree with her statement, with Karen's statements on Twitter.
What you've done, in fact, I've seen a lot of people say this, is like, I don't like J.K. Rowling. I like Harry Potter, but I also fucking hate that you just said that. So I'm buying the deluxe version. I'm like, you see what you've made it worse. You've made it worse. You need to calm yourself and really, really make your argument proper. Make it something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up hurting yourself in your own cause. It's really bad.
What they say, cut your nose off to spite your face or something? Or to spite your face or
to
something?
bite your
It's something.
Something.
Cutting off your own nose is probably stupid.
Probably a bad
idea. Don't do that. So I'm sort of in a different camp, which is I have doubled down on my Ubisoft stance. Fuck Ubisoft. Because what you just said, it's not one person. It's a company-wide fucking policy. It's Yves at the top. His entire family's complicit. There are a bunch of managers at multiple different levels. Anybody that was caught got shifted around.
That's a good point.
There is a bunch of complicity in there. And one major difference. Boycotting Ubisoft will hurt them. And potentially, not like you boycotting Ubisoft, but like the fact that our entire Venn diagram of all our communities is like, fuck Ubisoft. That actually, feasibly, if you take all of our sub counts, right? So like the mighty 1,300 subs or whatever we have.
Exactly.
Plus lasers and fishy and stuff, right? They're those losers.
Like 5 or 6 subs, whatever.
Yeah, something, whatever they are. That's actually going to make a dent. She'd pretend everybody does the thing. If every single person that has a beef with J.K. Rowling doesn't buy the game, she's still a billionaire Karen with access to Twitter.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't stop anything.
So you don't hurt her in any way.
Yeah. One thing I will say that you just said about the Ubisoft thing, because it's company-wide, with boycotting Ubisoft games, it might push them to the point where they get bought out by someone or they sell to somebody to try and jump ship, and then that's the better scenario. Whereas boycotting this game, all it does is you hurt the hundreds of devs that are working on it, and the development studio could potentially go bankrupt.
And the person you're trying to hurt
doesn't change at all.
Isn't affected in any way.
There's still multiple zeros in their bank account.
Many more zeros than behind the numbers. See. Yeah. Plus... and I know this is a bad argument, but it is realistic. Harry Potter's way bigger than all of Ubisoft's titles combined. Yeah. Like, there's a reason she's a billionaire and Yves isn't.
Yeah.
Right? The whole world... No, it outsold the Bible, bruv. Right? So...
Harry Potter, officially better than Christianity. Officially.
Bruv, think about it. What did Jesus do? Stands on some water and drinks some wine.
Right.
Dick.
And
fed a few people.
He was standing on a post when really he was nailed there, so he didn't even put any effort into
right.
it.
He fed some people and then he died and came back. Copying Harry.
Right.
Harry does that at the end.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
So, also, he didn't fight the devil. Harry fought his devil twice. Facts. And won both times.
Facts.
Dickhead.
I feel like we've summed up the story behind it so much. How do you feel about the game? What you've seen from it so far?
I think it looks very interesting. Do you know what I think it looks like? I think they described in Jedi Fallen Order the thoughtful combat.
Yeah.
I get the impression that that's the sort of thing they've gone for with this. We'll have to see how it actually works. But I'm quite keen on that idea of having a variety of different spells that you can choose to do, and like block and guard and stuff like that. I presume there's no PvP. That would have been cool to like
kill other kids.
Same as Ghost of Tsushima. What do I want to do? I want to take my boys out behind the bike sheds or the broom shed. That sounds so gay.
Go ahead.
That's like the 90s version of gay. That sounds so bad. Take behind the broom shed, not the bike sheds, and duel these motherfuckers. Also, the weird thing to me is that the unforgivable curses are in it.
Yeah.
What? Even in sixth form, like what? Who's Avada Kedavering people? Cadavering. Who's freaking killing people? No one. You're not getting away with it, man.
Yeah. I think it looks cool.
I
have to dance around this bit here. So the bit that doesn't look not good. The bit that doesn't look not good. So you get what I'm trying to say. So I think there's going to be a lot of secrets in the world, which is what I think the best part of all of the Harry Potter, of everything like that.
Yeah.
Just how there can be like, okay, we're at Hogwarts, but there's like this secret dungeon on the side, or like there's this particular thing where if you wave this magic wand or say this thing, the wall opens up and there's something in there, and it turns out it's a secret from like hundreds of years ago that they were locking an evil magic behind there. That's the cool shit.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I've seen a little bit of gameplay, and like there are things that move in the world and stuff like that. I'm like, shit, I think this is gonna have a lot of that.
Yeah,
and that's the shit that's gonna be good, I think. But it's all Harry Potter related, so it will suck. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Should I buy the game and just shit on it? Should I just buy the game?
You should do what you should double down. You know when you said with Cyberpunk, what you should have done is just made a channel saying how good it was and saying how like you should have live streamed it, and whenever it crashed, be like, good. I feel like my PlayStation needed a reset.
Just a bit of a rest.
Clear the caches out and stuff. Like this is really good for
they program that in. Good stuff, CDPR.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same with Harry Potter. Just trash it constantly.
No matter, it'd be like the best game you've ever played. You're like, this is just shit. I mean,
I think I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna buy it and trash it.
I mean, this. I'm playing a video game. It looks realistic. I don't want real life.
Exactly.
That's why I'm playing a video game. It looks.
They could have made the people more like cartoonish, because I don't want to be like him. Like, why isn't this like Fortnite? Why isn't everything like Fortnite?
I'll guarantee Harry Potter's going to be in Fortnite in a week's time. I fully agree with you. Yeah. The cool thing about Harry Potter is those like secrets and the castle's thousands of years old, and like the stuff that's there, and that no one knows about some of it. Like there's stuff that even Dumbledore doesn't know and shit like that. So I do think that's cool. I also like the idea that we're doing a character creation thing, and I think it's set before Harry Potter, right?
Yeah,
before the book. So Jesus. Yeah, thank God, because running into those characters is just.
I would have straight up avacadabraed them right there. I'd have been like, "Yup, that's it. No, you're dead. No, Ron, I can see your fucking orange head from here. Get that rat away from me."
So I do think that having just all new characters, I'm sure like you'll have like the old Hagrid and Dumbledore still be there and stuff, but like those characters you're deeply invested in, like fuck off. Oh, we're deeply invested in Dumbledore. Shut up, dickhead. I think that's a good idea, and I like the idea of doing the character creation and stuff. I think that's good. Obviously, just like CDPR, I hope there's a genital selector size.
Yeah, I mean, it's something
where small is already massive, and the next one is just an elephant trunk.
I think I saw a post like that recently on Reddit. It was like, I'm going to just say it. The small isn't small. And I was like, yeah.
I was like, small. Damn.
Hot damn.
And then you go to... Obviously, you max it out because you kind of have to. And it's just like, my man's carrying around a full-on freaking chorizo sausage in his
Because
pants.
the small isn't small, no one picks small.
Yeah.
If it was hilariously small, I might do it for jokes.
Oh, yeah, 100% would.
Exactly. But and also, even though it doesn't come up ever.
Yeah.
It was like, I would do that.
Or like, there's tons of people that are just like, massive dong, biggest tits.
Yeah.
Or like vice versa.
Concave tits.
No, I can't get out of my head.
There you go. It's funny because my girl says like, I've got no boobs, and I was like, babe, whatever. And then she saw...
I can literally grab them.
And then we saw a girl on TV who was trying to... It was a... I can't remember what TV show it was. She was trying to take pictures of herself to send to her boyfriend. And she had less boobs than her. And she was like... I was like, damn, that's sexy. And she goes... She's got no boobs. She's got even less than me. I was like, if you've got none, then that means hers must be concave. Then we thought
She's
about
got
it.
negative tittage.
Jesus.
I've always said a handful or more is booby galore.
Perfect.
You know? Exactly.
And if they smother you until you die, even better. Even better.
You know?
Even better.
Still, this is the True Gamer podcast, though.
Exactly.
That was a taste of a Conversation podcast. You can only get that on patreon.com/Conbrosations. So, now you know what you're missing.
Exactly.
Harry Potter, no one cares.
No one cares.
If I can't enter the Goblet of Fire,
If I can't enter the students. Forspoken came out recently. And it didn't do too well.
No, it didn't. Do you know the worst thing about Forspoken is one, I've been simping over her since forever. The chick is just freaking gorgeous.
I got her name here. Ella Balinska,
something like that, yeah. And worse still, she seems so happy and wholesome and just to be so excited that she's like the main character in a video game.
Fucking destroyed me. Because I was not shitting on it, but I was like, oh my god, the cringe stuff is really cringe. I don't know how anyone could survive playing this game. I endured the demo and I felt worse off than doing it, and people are going out there buying this game. And then I see the video of her being so happy that she's in it and she's so wholesome, and I was like, fuck. I hope she gets a better game job someday.
Really, right? Because the worst thing is, there are some actually good bits of dialogue. The bracelet thing itself is really good. And then it's just what they have her say. It's like she's talking and doesn't care if anyone responds. Oh yeah, that bit where she's like, "Did you see that? I did that." And it's like, "We did that.
Yeah, we did.
I did that.
We did that. I did that." No, you feel like you're saying "I," but we did that. I did that. Can you believe
it? I just did that with my mind.
It's just like, two conversations,
right? And the worst thing is like her acting itself isn't too bad. The dialogue is god awful. And do you know what I said this about The Last of Us? I was like, before it even came out, I was like, we know that Bella Ramsey can act really well.
Yeah.
We know Pedro Pascal's incredible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if the show sucks, it won't be because of their talent. And if they're bad on screen, it won't be because of their talent. It'll be because of writing and direction and stuff.
Yeah.
Then we've seen the first few episodes. I've only seen 2, so the first 2 episodes, right? They're amazing. If the show sucks, it's definitely not them.
Yeah.
I was right. So... worst case, the worst thing is that this, what was her name? Ella Balinska. She seems to be actually pretty talented. They just had her say the worst dialogue you've ever heard, which seems to be mostly a monologue with a second person present.
Yeah.
Like, and then there were weird bits. Like James put up a clip of him. You go and you can like interact with the sheep in a place.
Yeah.
And it goes like, he gives you the prompt, feed the sheep. And then it just goes black screen. You fed the sheep. And then it fades back in and there's more sheep there.
I was like, why is that a thing? Why that doesn't... Is that something that you felt like people want to do in a video game?
I don't think I'd have tolerated that from Final Fantasy IX. That came out in 1996 on the PS1 and had 4 discs. And I've played that a lot. I'm certain, I know for a fact, that doesn't do that. So why is this...
That ties into... That kind of thing is what I hear, because I've heard a couple of reviews from people that I tend to follow and stuff like that. That is the kind of thing that I hear about the entire game. People are like, I just don't want to play it. It's so unfun. Like, maybe the traversal's kind of cool, where you're kind of like skipping almost and stuff like that. But that is it. And
also,
even then...
had that in Infamous.
Exactly.
And Spider-Man.
We've had good traversal systems. It's cool, it's fine, but that's not the only thing that you do with it. It's like everything else is just not fun. And I'm like, all right, this is... And then on top of that, all the dialogue. So, yeah. I feel bad for her. I hope she gets a good job somewhere and we get to see her something better.
Yeah, me too.
But that's that. That's that right there. You ready to go on the next topic?
Yeah, I have one that just occurred to me just because of the way you said that. I hope to see her in something better. Did you see the Twitch guy who got caught buying deepfake porn of other Twitch streamers?
That is I didn't watch the clip because I didn't want to see this guy fake cry on a fucking video, whatever it was, and his missus in the background crying as well. And I was like, why is she there?
Do you know what?
But I was dying laughing. I was like,
it's worse though, because one of those people is apparently just like a really good friend of his. and he had to go out and like purchase the porn. So that's where it's bad. Now, for example, if it was you and me, if we were here and like you accidentally showed a tab and we'd bought like deepfake porn, I'd be like, and this is almost always the best way, if there's an elephant in the room, introduce it, right? Like, yes, we did spend a Leviathan X worth of money.
Company expense.
Company expense to get insert famous person. Pick a famous person. Freaking Belinsky.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Ella Balinska.
Balinska. Yeah, we got deepfake porn of her. Or, what was it? What's a real one? What's a real Twitch streamer? Famous
Valkyrie?
Ninja.
Yeah,
like we paid for deepfake porn of Ninja. Of course we did. You know? Of course. We put Ninja's face on
just some twink guy,
or on like Pamela Anderson. You know, like yes, we did that. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
and I had to know. You know, like I had to know.
But it's a friend. It's someone.
It's a mate. That's where it gets really bad. It's a mate, and also the girlfriend knows that it's a mate. So that's rough, isn't it? That's real.
It's like that. I've seen a video. It does seem a bit staged because why is this guy recording? But guy sitting on the sofa, his girlfriend's here, legs across like that way, and there's a guy mate sitting there watching like TV together, and he's got his phone up, and he takes a picture with the flash of her feet, and then just quickly dusts it down, and it's like, yo, what the hell's going on? I'm like, there's no explaining that. There's no explaining that. At that also, point, you couldn't catch me doing that. By the way, I'd have to die. Just
that's the thing. So the first thing is you wouldn't be taking pictures of someone's feet,
first of all,
because as bad as you are, you're not one of those people.
No.
Second of all,
I prefer the ankles. That's what a vagina and ankle.
Right. Like old school 1908 porn. Exactly. You know. The other thing is, let's presume you don't actually go through with it and top yourself. I'm charging you a fee, 50%. Are you making 6 figures off my girl's feet?
Exactly. I haven't done it,
bruv. I wish my girl had pretty feet. So we're back to the conversation podcast. If my girl had pretty feet, I would not be working.
We wouldn't have to work.
Yeah. She's just got like average feet.
Yeah.
And so do I. If I had pretty feet, bruv, if I had pretty feet, I wouldn't be working.
It's self-respect. I mean, there are average
I've got
girls.
none of it.
There's average girls out there. Well, the girlfriend does. Your girl does.
Yes, there is that.
Like, there are average girls out there making tons of money. My girl, fucking I pimp her any day.
Mate,
any pimp.
This is the thing. People are like, I would never date an OnlyFans girl. I'm like, you're right. Neither would I. But I would turn my girl into an OnlyFans girl.
That's different, isn't it? Turning them into
like
we're in Conbrosations territory.
Listen, for mid 5 figures a month, as you know, like an average type, and we know how to manage content creation and stuff.
It's the wiping tears with money thing. That's like,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, but everybody will have seen it. Bruv, trust me, every guy that has any interest has imagined it. They're just getting a confirmation.
It's the same with everyone. It's not different. I've seen a lot of vaginas. It's not different. Any poon.
Yeah. Sorry, that was conversation. See what you're missing? For as little as a dollar a month.
Go back to the Last of Us topic. Yeah. Pedro Pascal told a little story about how he got the part and how he almost forgot about it. So apparently he went on he read the script and he loved it so much, and he went on a call. He was in London and they were in LA, so time differences and everything. It was a bit late, and he went and got on a call, said about this, blah blah blah. Would you like to take me interviewed for it and stuff like that? Neil Druckmann came on. He apparently spoke to him for whatever like that, and they said, "All right, we'll give you a call and we'll let you know what our decision is." He goes to he closes up and he goes, "All right, I need to get up early in the morning and it's late for me here, so I'm gonna go to sleep. But with all this excitement that I have for getting this part, because I like it, I'm gonna take an Ambien and I'm gonna like knock myself out." And he took the Ambien, and apparently right when the effects were just about to kick in, when he was getting a little bit woozy, he got a phone call back from Neil Druckmann to say, "We want you for the part, you're in, you're Joel." And he was like, "Great, fantastic." Right. And then he went to sleep. And then he woke up in the morning and was like, "Man, I hope I get that job." Because he couldn't remember whether or not he got the job. He's like, maybe it was a dream or something, whatever it was. And then he started getting like text messages like 4 days later going like, "Congratulations, bro." Congratulations. Like, "Oh shit, I did get the job."
I hate that when you do something just before you go to sleep, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and do a thing. I had an idea, no idea what it was. I woke up in the middle of the night from a dream and was like, I've got it.
This is $1 million idea.
Billion dollar. Like this is it. This is the thing. Everybody needs one of these. It's a Herfagluff. Everybody needs a Herfagluff in the house, right? And then I was like, I should write this down.
I'll remember it.
It's such a good idea.
I'll remember
it in the morning.
Of course I'll remember it.
And starting tomorrow, I'm not going into work, wherever it was. Like, I'm not going into school.
I won't need to.
I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna like do patents and find a designer, and I'm gonna do all that. And then I went back to sleep. Actually slept like a baby because I'm gonna be a billionaire.
But you would sleep like a baby because you
woke up. Okay, what was that thing I needed to remember? I hate myself. I hate myself.
I hate you because we could be billionaires.
Yeah, look, you could be that guy that leeches off a billionaire.
Exactly. I could be all of the friends of David Dobrik. Or Logan Paul or Mr. Beast.
Right, yeah. Well, you're telling me that people hang around with them despite, not actually liking them? I don't believe it.
Friends of KSI.
Do we have any other topics? Was that? Or did
we do have a couple more.
Well, what was your take, sorry, on ordering deepfake porn?
Very pro. I would like it a lot. No, that's this. Do you know what? There's enough normal porn. I don't see the benefit of putting the porn with a famous face. Although I'll tell you what, I did get duped into a deep fake one time, and it was a girl who really looked like Ariana Grande. Why are we talking about this on this podcast?
Well, funnily enough, I hope they can't see this. I went on one of those AI porn generators just to see what it was like. I'm going to message you.
Yeah,
these.
okay.
The
guys are like, we just wanted to listen to gaming.
These are the funniest
really
ones.
wanted to listen to gaming.
These are the funniest ones, and they are not safe for work, so you can't share.
No worries.
This is what AI generated. There were some good ones as well. But also, if you're into, we're talking about OnlyFans girls, there is coming a point where you'll be able to AI generate your OnlyFans.
I was going to say, that should be a thing anyway. You can make some money off of that.
Anyway, these are the two that cracked me up the most.
Where did you send it?
I just texted you. God, I hope that's you.
Yeah! Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Yeah. So one was obviously, Cyborg.
The face is nightmare fuel on that one.
Yeah, one was Cyborg, and then one was just, just generate girls in the location was kitchen. It just had randomize, and so anyway, it thinks the fridge is the chick.
The AI has a preference, and I'm with it.
Yeah.
Any poop.
Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, it's funny that that stuff exists, and I was just genuinely curious. Weirdly, you would think I'd have done. There was an anime thing, and I was like, I've seen all the hentai out there. I don't need to generate my own.
And then you're like, okay.
So anyway, back to the true gamer.
Cracksneck.
It's been like 2 months or 3 months since we've done real content, so I'm just enjoying the fact that we're back to regular.
I was feeling quite shit before, but I actually have got more energy talking
me too.
for some reason. This is a topic that I'm going to segue into another one. Ubisoft's games as a service game Knockout City is closing down in June forever.
Oh no!
Right? Who cares?
One Ubisoft, two live service.
Exactly. But this ties me into my point that PlayStation have 10 live service games coming up in the quite close future, within the next year.
Yeah.
One of them being Factions, which I've thought about, and I think it could be quite good. But still, other ones. One of them we actually saw a leak of. Sorry, the Horizon multiplayer game, which some of the art style kind of looks a little bit Fortnite-y.
I agree.
And I was like,
I didn't like the look of. Yeah.
I knew going in that one of these live service games are going to be Fortnite-y.
Of course.
You have to take a stab at it. It's a thing.
Why wouldn't you? If you can get 10% of their success, you've got an entire business there.
Exactly. If one of them pops off, it's lifelong money, and that's the reason why they were going into it. But I didn't think it would happen with Horizon, but it looks like it's happening close to that. But this is a bad sign, because while Ubisoft don't put a lot of effort into their video games, not the most effort anyway, it does put up red flags and warning signals to be like, okay, games as a service, risky business. And PlayStation have been giving us consistent bangers for a while, and even TV shows, bangers now. Oh fuck, my glasses!
You don't need to see. It's fine.
Who needs glasses anyway? So it will be something that they're venturing into this new area for the first time, and they might fail straight away. It's an interesting thing. Are you worried at all for our games as a service?
Well, one, I don't care about games as a service as a general rule.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not worried because it's something I don't care about.
Do you care more about games as a service or our patrons?
Oh wait, we're supposed to care about our patrons.
Oh, well,
Whoops.
fake it for the cameras.
That's why I don't have an OnlyFans. I can't fake it for the cameras. So no, I don't care. And if they flop, so what? Like PlayStation has had flops. This is the thing. We like the wins.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Who cares about that? Plus the cast, hardly any whites.
Exactly.
And no romance. My big issue is there's no romance. There should be a freaking romance. It makes sense for Jin and what is her freaking name? Yuna.
Yuna, that's it. Yeah.
I think it is Yuna. On that rooftop thing, like surely, right? Anyway, yeah, PlayStation has had some flops, right? The fact is, the majority of them are at worst okay, and the top 10% are the best games that have ever been made.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, maybe it's a good thing for Xbox if they flop, because then people will say, well, they don't only have bangers on PlayStation.
Mate.
So I remember someone put up a thing saying, what game is this? And it was like a picture of a burger. It was like 10 out of 10 acting, story, animation, visuals, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Last of Us series, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, 2018 and stuff. And there was more. There was more I could have done. I just picked those. Pick anything Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then just the whole time I was looking at it being like, I don't want to take this and be like, seriously, why would anybody buy an Xbox? Because realistically, there's nothing to play on the Xbox, and if anything you would play on an Xbox, you're better off playing on PC anyway.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that guy, but it is true. However, these games flopping, I think, is a good thing because it affects the good games not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give Xbox a leg up anywhere at all, and hopefully they'll go, oh, this is shit. Let's double down on the stuff we know is good. Let's stick to the recipe. Don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah.
So hopefully they will flop. On the other hand, if they do get something that generates like a fortnight amount of money, then I suspect that'll be a good... No, do you know what? That worries me because they're Japanese suits, and PlayStation will move to a better
completely
model.
Transition over, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, that being said, so far they've only stuck to winning ideas. So even if the service did really well, they might look at it and go, this is a really good long-term model, and these are really good and worth doing. Let's do both.
Yeah.
And let's keep investing in both, and then we can really corner the market. And I do feel like of all the decision makers we've seen, Sony are the ones to go, oh, we can do this successfully, and we've been doing that successfully. Let's do both.
Yeah.
And give them all our full attention and stick to the good recipes. But yeah, I mean, my ideal scenario is that games as a service drop off and die.
It's because we just want more story. I hope it's a situation though where it just funds what we like so much.
Right, and I'm like the games outside of the story games we play. I play Apex, right? And people enjoy Fortnite, I guess. Kids enjoy Fortnite.
Children.
That is like games as a service, quote unquote, because it's doing it right. It's all skins, it's all cosmetic. You can play the game for free on the base skins. There's no problem with that, you know?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. That model I have no problem with at all. And in fact, I'm actually for microtransactions. I've said this before. Like, I wish that they'd had the balls with Battlefront 2 near the end, like that last 75% of its life.
Just to put some more...
To go, look... we're down to a skeleton crew. To get more people on to keep it up, here are some amazing skins. They're only available if you purchase them.
Yeah.
You know? That's it. And here are some ones that you're only available to earn. So it's not one or the other. It's both. But we do need to generate some money to keep this game alive and to improve it. Here are some of those things. Here is, stuff like that. Then yeah, I'm all about it. Right? I'm cool with stuff like that. It's got to be done ethically. Like, you can't have only good skins are paid for.
Yeah.
Which you got to be able to earn a couple of okay skins for free.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But other than that, like, go for it. And I wish they'd done that, because they would have made some money. And like, I would have bought a Darth Maul Robo Leg skin. I would have bought some stuff like that. I would have bought a Sith Ray skin. Totally. Goddamn Sith Ray mummy. Like, that would have helped fund the game. It would have helped them fix bugs, and the game would probably still be like alive now if they were doing that.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm okay with it. But as a general, like making a game to be a games as a service thing, probably going to be shit, and I don't care if they all fail.
We'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes.
Have you got any ideas of what it might be and making it okay or good? Or are you on the same boat as me? Just freaking
like I said, I hope they put the PlayStation spin on it, because PlayStation have seen what people want, and it's story-driven games.
Yeah.
Granted, there are people out there who want online FPSs, and they're making those as well, so that's something. But people, for the most part, really want this, and that's what gets people talking. That's what makes people make podcasts and videos and discussions on Twitter and reviews and stuff like that. That's what gets people going. I hope they try to inject that in there, and I think for The Last of Us 1, they are going to do that. So that's what I'm most looking forward to, and I feel like from there, then they will learn their lesson, hopefully. But I am worried they're gonna do the other stuff as well, and that's gonna fail, or it's gonna be awful.
I mean, again, it's just got to be done ethically, right? Like I put out a mod of how The Last of Us factions could work as like a games as a service in a Destiny-esque way, and I think it was fairly compelling, right? Like you pick the bits from other games that worked well, like you take the matchmaking from The Division. You watch Destiny and see how it did it, and then you go, okay, you can have a contested area, which would make sense. Like I'd always give that thing of like it's a hospital, and you want different resources or something, and then you're fighting each other and fighting NPC enemies. And then when you need to change location, a swarm of infected come in, and you have a reason to be locked out of the area.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense as a model. That would work.
Yeah,
right. And then what are the microtransaction stuff? You know, the what is the service you're paying for? Skins make sense, and also different skins for different enemies. What enemy skins would make sense to me? Like if you have a bloater, right?
Yeah,
you got standard bloater, but you can pay 99p, and you have 10 amazing different looks, and you can just set it to randomize. That would be sick.
Yeah,
you know, and I might spend a $5 or on like a few awesome bloater skins that I'm going to randomly see in the game, you know, plus, you know, backpacks, whatever the frick, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that would work, but why would that work? Because you really
Sorry,
are dying.
that's really bad. Sorry about that, guys.
The only reason that as like an idea, as a concept works is because I'm thinking about making the best game possible, and the way that you do that is you make a game that keeps paying the devs. But it's the only reason people are buying it is because it's cool and ethical. Where I'm trying to make a good product, I'm not trying to make a profitable product.
Yeah.
And ironically, if you make a good product, it will be profitable. If you just try and make a profitable business model, it's often not the way it works. You know?
Yeah. You mind if I kick it over to our boy Gams Master, who brings up another topic? In sad news, Jedi Survivor has been delayed until April 28th. It's only 6 weeks, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And this has thrown my gaming calendar off entirely.
Oh no.
However, with extra time, I may as well platinum Hogwarts Legacy. Oh fucking hell, he's a loser.
Wow.
I didn't know you was a virgin. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry.
It's going to be dumb things as well, like take enough trips on the Hogwarts Express to order one item individually and go through the whole sweet cart, you know?
God. Anything off the trolleys, dear?
Avada Kedavra!
He also says the day before. Do you remember the day before? It was like an open world survival game. We've only seen one trailer of it so far.
It rings a bell.
So the day before has been removed from Steam due to copyright issues.
Yeah. That game yesterday didn't. I'm sorry.
It's so dumb because what happened was this game was coming out in like a week or so or something like that, and we hadn't seen anything from it. And then one day it disappears off of Steam, and we're like, okay, what's going on? And then they come out with a story. They're like, oh yeah,
is Hassan Kurman involved?
Then this is literally
No
what
way.
people said.
No
people
way.
said that. They were like, there's the one picture of like this guy whose face is like half on the screen. It says the day before. People photoshopped Hassan Kurman and that.
Did
thing.
they? Ah, great minds.
It was perfect. It was perfect. And they were like, yeah, the name got copyrighted. It's this far away from release and we didn't copyright the name or something like that. Anyway, they released a 10-minute video. It doesn't look good. So it doesn't look too bad in terms of like visual fidelity, but the world is extremely empty and it doesn't look like a world like post-apocalyptic. And I'm playing The Last of Us right now, so I get the peak right now.
Yeah.
Right? We've got the overgrown grass, we've got vines everywhere, cars that are broken down. These guys are like completely clean roads, completely clean hospitals, and then every now and again there's like a trolley that's over and like a car door that's open. I'm like, that's not even realistic.
I seen that picture from Reddit of the Fallout show that's being made.
Yes.
And that looked really Fallout-y. The post-apocalyptic, you had like the 50s styled car with the patina on it and all that stuff. Like, how are you messing up the world?
It's been done multiple times as well. You just need to copy and paste that. Anyway, I'll tell you one thing that they did do that seemed very sus.
Okay.
They made the main character that you're watching when they're playing, right? A skinny hot chick with a fat ass and a tank top. And
so what was the problem?
It's a great game. It's going to be 10 out of 10, this game. And I was like, are you literally trying to distract us from the lack of world with this ass? Is that what you're trying to do?
They 100% are.
And I was like, this is bullshit. So I went from this game had high hopes because when we saw the initial teaser to, this is a dupe. This is a Hassan Karaman moment. They're trying to trick us.
What's rough is that like that always makes me think of Bayonetta. Are you familiar with Bayonetta?
Oh, yeah.
So like Bayonetta had a bunch of
I'm familiar with the
criticism.
cosplayers.
Had a bunch of criticism, often by like feminists that don't play games, or feminists is probably not the right word, but like a lot of Karens, right?
The extremists.
Yeah, Karens who say that they're feminists, but they're just using it as an excuse to be a Karen.
To be annoying, yeah.
And they were like, it's just like men fantasizing about XYZ, and there's no quality. It's just gawping at this chick, and then it comes out that like the main writer for it is a woman. The lady, the person that designed Bayonetta is a woman. And then they, in an interview, they're like, "Why do you make her look like this?" And she was like, "Because she's everything I want to be. That's how I want to look. That's how I think. I made her gorgeous because I want her to be the pinnacle of womanhood. She's fucking gorgeous and incredible and courageous and brave and strong." And like,
I imagine them melting down right there, just like.
Yeah, and they were like, you could see like gears.
I can't compute.
Sparks. And
what are the words I can call you? Woman. No, it's.
And also, she's like Asian, so like it's just white men, blah blah blah. And it's like this Asian woman who. Anyway, I always think of Bayonetta because that's the. Also, I haven't played Bayonetta. Unfortunately, apparently, it's very good, but it's also apparently a very good game with a cool story. And just like you, I'm more of a cosplay enjoyer. And a bit of me is like, it's okay to make your characters hot. Like Joel's daddy. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. No one argues this. So, and Kratos, like, come on, man's eye candy, you know? And that voice, no one's that straight, you know?
Boy.
Right? Like it's, I don't have a uterus, but it aches. Like, so.
I see why Faye wanted to get that all up in her.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's one of those things of, okay, the main character's good looking or hot or whatever, but that on its own not a bad thing. That on its own and nothing else a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know? Some people, man.
Yeah.
Also the thing what blows my mind is it's not hard to find like free stuff that you can just slap on top of this.
Yeah.
You know? So why?
I'm going to be very interested when this comes out because there was so much excitement for it. It just died now because of this poor showing of it and all this weird uncertainty. Like, what the hell's going on with you guys?
Yeah.
Another final topic. I guess two more topics. This one's a little one. Marvel's Wolverine being made by Insomniac.
It's out this year.
Well, it might not be. That's the thing.
Okay.
Rumors are saying that it's going to be out 2024, late 2024.
Even that's quick, by the way.
I was going to say it's not that far away. Not that far away. And
it was announced 7 months ago.
Especially
right?
when I don't remember when it was announced, but it's especially weird when you think about that they have Spider-Man 2 coming out this year, and then the next year they're going to have Wolverine come out.
September it's a year and a bit ago. September the 9th, 2021. It was announced.
But even then, they were just sort of like, we've secured the rights type thing.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And they've already made a game of it.
Oh, wait. Hold on. When was the Wolverine trailer shown?
2020?
2021, September 2021.
Okay.
So that's when it was all announced, basically. It was that one bit of him in the bar, right? But even still, to go from, okay, we have a CG trailer, that's still only 3 years.
Yeah.
They're insane.
And it's not like they were just dedicated to that.
Yeah,
they were doing
insane.
other things as well. Apparently, we've got a few details. It's going to be semi-open world, a la God of War.
Okay.
That type of thing.
Yeah, I like that. That's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if you think about sort of like the type of character, Wolverine and Kratos, kind of similar.
Yeah.
They don't have insane like flying abilities or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're both muscular.
Makes sense to sort
of thing like that.
To traverse the world by a quick travel system like the tree, and then to go to a location that you can fully explore that location, and then go to other bubbles, basically.
Yeah.
so as you choose, that makes sense.
That sounds interesting. I will say asterisks on it. This information's coming from Jeff Grubb. Not exactly the most reliable leaker in the world.
Yeah, true.
So there's that. And then one other topic, this was sent in by Cryptic. He goes, thoughts on Sony getting rid of the PlayStation Plus collection? I think it's pretty shitty personally, and I'm feeling annoyed about it, especially for the people who haven't had a chance to get a PS5 until this year. This is the email I got sent, and I got this email as well. PS Plus collection. Do you remember this one? It's like 20 games you get for just owning a PS5 and PS Plus. God of War, like a couple of bangers and stuff like that. It's closing in May. If you have PlayStation Plus and a PS5, you can add it to your library and it will stay there forever.
Just go do that. Even if you never intend to play the game, you never know.
Exactly.
Right?
But it is closing down. Diogo writes in saying, coincidence that these titles are being removed after Sony announced that there are no longer a PS5 shortage, ? Shitty since the collection was marketed as a way for newcomers to get to the PlayStation 5 brand and to play some of the great PS4 titles, but at least they let current users keep the games. I have my issue, I do think it's kind of shitty that it's going away. I feel like it's not a big deal for them to keep it in there. I don't understand. They're not saving tons of money. There's only a handful of third-party games they're probably paying for there, and they're like older third-party games, so I don't really understand what they're losing here.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it was marketed as a way for newcomers to get into the PS5 brand so much.
We presented it that way. That's not the way it was marketed.
What it was the original dumb idea that the PlayStation 5 needed to be backwards compatible.
Hate that.
That was the original dumb idea because no other console did it before. We just invented this new expectation, and that's what PlayStation bowed to. I mean, I already had all of those games. Sorry, I shouted into the mic there. Sorry about that.
You moved away for the quiet bit and came back.
Sorry. The dumb part is on me and you as well because you're stupid. But
obviously.
We came up with a hypothetical situation which was far too good for Sony to ever do. Idiots. We were like, oh, what if they continuously update it? What if they add a game to it every now and again? That would be the sickest service in the world. And here they are 2 years later closing it down.
To be clear, we told you it was a really good way in.
Yeah.
Right? It was never presented to... Sony never presented it the way we did, which was like, look, you could buy PS5...
And you get all of these
games. And you won't need to buy a game for like a year or 2 years, depending on how quickly you play the games, right? And there are some incredible games on there. Like God of War alone makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I genuinely think God of War alone makes it worth buying PS Plus, wherever it was, PS Now. Wherever the frick it was.
Yeah.
They never said, hey, get a PS5 and you never have to buy anything, right? They just said it's a cool thing. And I think it's shitty, to be upfront. I also think, however, it was a bit of a marketing tactic. It was an initial thing, and the offer expired after a while.
It just doesn't. I just don't know what they save.
Yeah,
the first party stuff is completely free to them. Granted, it's potential loss of sales, but they rolled the game, so
yeah.
how much are you selling?
Yeah,
and then also, what? It's like the $10 upgrade thing.
yeah.
It was only going to be for like the first year or two, and they were like, "No, we're charging $10." While I agree, there's work put into it and you deserve compensation for it. Sony could have taken the hit. What money did you make? $1 million, $2 million, something like that, out of whatever you made out of there. You could have taken that hit for the good faith, especially because Xbox was doing the good faith on the other side. You could have given them one less ammo in the chamber, but they didn't. And I was like, cool, no matter what, right?
It's a business, and we've always said it's run by suits in Japan, the suitiest of suits.
Exactly. That's what it came to. And this is one of them things I'm like, how much money is... Granted, I don't hear people talking about the PlayStation Plus collection, so maybe they're just like, no one gives a fuck. All right, let's go.
I feel like it's the backwards compatibility thing all over again. It's people yelling about something now that they don't have it, and they don't really want it. They don't really care.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, I don't know. I did think it was a good service again. We marketed it to you as, look, buy PS5. You won't need to buy a game for a couple of years. There's some bangers on there.
We fooled you.
Sony ponies confirmed. On the other hand, like, benefit of the doubt to Sony, it could have well just been an introductory deal and shit like that. I think it's shitty. I think it's stupid, and I doubt it drives... What I don't suspect is that they're going to suddenly sell a bunch of God of War 2018s.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. Whereas, being able to play God of War 2018 and going, my God, this game is good, I'll buy Ragnarok, I think that did happen. So that's where I'm at. I think it's shitty. I think it's stupid. Freak you, Sony.
Sony, you're the worst.
I mean, it's a problem that doesn't affect me because, again, we bought all the games we wanted to play.
Exactly. All right, let's kick over to some of our comments written over at Discord, which you guys can do by clicking the link in the description.
Gaming.
Alpha writes in, but he writes in just it's like a monologue. It's like a biography. He writes in like he updates us on his life. It's like, I don't care about any other games, but Alan Wake, I'm very happy. Very happy right now. Star Trek Resurgence better release this year. Still haven't finished RDR2.
Have they actually updated the fans on the release date of that Star Trek game?
Right. Started Persona 5, and I'm not sure I'm able to fit it in this year because pretty low energy.
It's a 100-hour game. Yeah,
it's a big game. Choose the games potentially on how much you can. How do you guys do it? Or how do you play games like that?
So
choose a game that potentially means the most to you and drink an insane amount of energy drinks. Pretty much.
Well, it's more. So he started some job. He told me don't tell people.
Astrophysicist. Yes.
Yeah, he was like he goes, don't tell people what it was. And I was like, bold of you to assume I remember.
Right.
Which I don't. But he started some new job, and he messaged me and he was like, same thing. Like, how do you guys do it? Because I come home, I'm knackered, and I don't want a game. I don't have the desire to it. And for anybody a bit younger that's just getting into this thing, it will take a while. You will get used to it. And what you have to do is just game anyway. You've also put the PlayStation on and start the game before you sit down.
Yeah.
Because once you sit down, if it's not up and running, you're probably going to fall asleep.
Thank God for rest mode, because I bang it and it's in the game and I'm like, yes!
Rest mode's amazing. I'm genuinely like impressed, verging on scared how quick.
This is next gen.
It's so good on the PS5.
Like an advert. This is next gen.
But it's so good on the PS5. It's so convenient. Yeah. So that's how you do it. We also do pick games that we're interested in. So like Sifu, for example. I was really curious about that game. I didn't like it in the end. It's a good game.
Because it was a Japanese game.
Because of the race of the people.
Specifically.
And I presume... Who made that? They're a Western company, aren't they?
I don't know.
I presume they were all minorities, and that's why I didn't like it. No, it's just not for me in it. But I did play it because I was interested in it. So there was that high level of interest. And there was also, games like Ragnarok or The Last of Us 2. Like, you make the time for stuff like that because you just get so deeply involved. You also want to be playing games where you're just drawn into the story, because otherwise, it was my big complaint with Cyberpunk. It was just so easy to put down.
Yeah.
Also, it nearly tried to brick my PlayStation. But other than that, like, if a game just keeps you engaged, it's one of those things. So that is the answer. You got to do it anyway. And also get the game up and running before you sit down, because I swear to God, once your bum hits the freaking sofa, like...
Oh, it's just comfortable.
Yeah, it's like, mate, here's one of those deals, isn't it? You're like, you feel okay, and then as soon as you sit down, just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because of life, how busy it is, and then you get that minute to rest, and you're like, oh, fuck it, I've had a kip right here. Tailgate writes in... He writes in like thoughts on James Gunn's the DC roadmap announcement James Gunn did earlier this week. Good. The problem is that he talks all about the movies right here. There is only one part of it that pertains to this podcast because it's gaming related. He does mention that all of the people who play the characters will be the same characters, do the same voices across movies, TV shows, wherever they appear, and video games.
Yeah. This is a terrible idea.
Awful idea.
Do you know how expensive I genuinely think...
Robert Downey Jr. Like, they didn't have to pay enough for every single movie he was in. Imagine going, we need you to come in for a video game to voice a couple of lines. Cool, 100 million.
You're being
that
really...
game's never going to get made.
You're being really generous. Voice the lines, not do all of that mocap.
Right.
Not act the entire game out. Because that's how games are made.
Awful idea.
Yeah, this is a stupid idea. Also, like we mentioned Cyberpunk, I unironically think one of the reasons the game sucked and took so long to come out, the budget to get Keanu on board, who we know works at a significant discount for stuff that he likes and stuff. Benefit of the doubt, let's say he did that. Still monstrously high budget to get him in, right? Yeah. Like, we don't... This is a terrible idea. Everything I'm hearing from James Gunn, bar like that first thing of like, we're coming in, we're doing a Superman thing, that all sounded good. Then everything since then, everything since the first like 2 days has been nothing but mistakes. This is a shit idea.
I'll save the... I was going to talk about the movies, but again, we're not going to talk about that in this podcast.
It's just a bad idea.
I don't think it's going to work out.
Also, the movies all suck, straight up. They all suck.
You know, I'll be looking forward to the Superman thing. You know, they're just titles at the moment. That's all they are to me. So when the announcement came out, a lot of people were hyping it up, and I was like, I feel like you're just hyping it up because this is the death of like Snyder stuff that confirms it now. Totally it's all done. And I'm like, because right now it's a title. Like we haven't seen a director. We haven't seen a part of a script. We haven't seen
any casting decisions.
Like, if we saw something, I'd be like, maybe I'll be,
I'll tell you the reason I think they're all shit. Supergirl. I'm pro Supergirl.
Yeah.
However, you had Superman. You had the Superman. And the Batman. You had them. So, like, why are we doing this?
I don't understand the reboot, because it seems like everyone seems to be still there. The Flash is still there, like Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, or the Peacemaker crew is still there, Suicide Squad crew is still there. Everyone is still there.
Just not the two people.
Except the two people that we want. Anyway, we're not going into the movies. Because there is good stuff to talk about the movies as well, but we're not getting into it, okay? That's just what we're saying. He does also say...
I really want to lay into it.
We'll do it. Next week will be Conbrosations podcast. Yeah. We can do it there.
It's going to be just a shit on James Gunn podcast.
I won't be too hard on him, okay? I very much dislike a lot of stuff that he's done. He hasn't set off on a good foot for me, but I am trying to be more positive.
Yeah.
And there are positives I can see.
I'm actually with you, which is very much give him enough rope to hang himself.
That's a thing as well.
If you ask me, he's done it about 5 times over just on the getting rid of... Just Henry Cavill alone, realistically, should have been we're getting rid of James Gunn.
It wasn't a good thing, right? It wasn't a good thing.
Now it's done, it's dusted, it's over. Let him make the next mistakes completely unmolested, so that then when we do molest him,
Don't say molesting James Gunn, because apparently there's some controversial tweets of his as well.
No.
I don't know the validity of them, so I'm not going to say anything, because I actually hate labeling people of things when I don't know. So, but anyway.
So basically, we're going to give James the Nonce Gunn enough rope to hang himself with his new decisions. And then we can come up and be like, look, he fucked up at the beginning and he's messed it up now. Fair play. The dude's a knobhead,
Tailgate also says, Ed, everyone's favourite Potterhead, are you excited for Hogwarts Legacy?
Obviously, yes. Obviously, yes. What really
I'm
cracks
go really
me up...
ghetto. Your mom, bruv.
Your mom, bro. What really cracks me up is that for such a Potter fan, and we all know that you haven't actually read the books, which is crazy. I mean, you'd obviously have to learn to read first, but...
That's my issue. No.
Or like even listening to them on audiobooks. Stephen Fry does the audiobooks. He's fantastic.
Like a lot of things, like my gaming history, I've matured very late. I didn't read books. So I was like, that's like the slower way of getting a movie. And then I got The Martian. And I was like, fuck it, books are sick.
The Martian is the only book that's ever made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, and I was like,
bit with the whales.
This is sick. And then I I've read comics before that, but comics are a little bit different.
Yeah,
there
they
are
got
words
pictures.
in it, but they're pictures in there. Anyway, thank you for writing in Tailgame. Adam writes in, and he says, oh god, my glasses are so far away. As Skyblivion just got released year 2,
Bruv, get your glasses.
just got its release. Yeah, fuck, I'm gonna have to get. I can't see.
Where are you reading? Who are you reading?
In the True Gamer podcast channel.
True Gamer Podcast, yeah.
Adam, underneath the link for Wolverine.
Why did you skip all of that?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, look, you skipped Cryptic.
No, Cryptics was about the PlayStation Plus collection.
Cool, you didn't skip it. You did a different order. I'm stupid. I'll read Adam's thing. As Skyblivion just got its release year announced 2 weeks ago, I'm wondering, have you guys played the older Elder Scrolls games like Morrowind and Oblivion? Of course, someone's talking about freaking Morrowind. Of course, you've played Skyrim, but what are your guys' thoughts on those early games if you've played them? Also, what are your thoughts on the upcoming remake mod Skyblivion and Skywind? Do you reckon you'll play them? Have a good one, lads.
Oblivion, when did that come out?
There's
2002.
Yeah, they're quite old.
That's pre Eddie becoming a true gamer.
Yeah.
Set time. I was very much like 2013 onwards was my true gamer area.
Yeah.
So before that it was either Call of Duty or
2013
Red
was
Alert.
Blops 1, so we would have been still hardcore Blops
What
boys.
the thing is that I slowly transitioned into it. I was like,
Once you finally realise COD gets boring.
and when your friends start to get real lives and jobs and stuff like that, losers.
Idiots.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't play any of them, and I am, really susceptible to the dated game thing and whatnot. I'm sure I trust you, Adam, because of all the things you've told me privately, and that I won't expose you on because you'll get cancelled. People are like, what did he say? What did he say now? we'll message him. What did he say? I trust you that they are very good.
Isak bums the shit out of Morrowind. It's like all he plays. He loves that game.
I was this close to jumping into Elder Scrolls Online the other day. So the Xbox event that happened.
Yeah.
This is something we didn't fucking talk about. Fuck, I forgot about it.
By the way, was there anything good at Xbox event?
I'll tell you what it was. It was a good format. There was a lot less.
We know
There was a lot less world premiere.
Oh,
guys!
that's good.
At Xbox, we really care about the gamers. None of that bullshit.
Cool.
It was just, here's a game that's coming up. This is what it looks like. Here's another game that's come out. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Shadow drop of a game that they put out there that just released right there.
Stuff that you could only play on Xbox.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. It was.
They were crappy, but
It was a bit low, sort of like, it was like, oh, this is better than what you've done in the past.
nothing that's
I'll
going to
give
go
you
up
that.
against The Last of Us 2013.
Exactly.
But
Like tomorrow, we'll get a Spider-Man trailer and it'll be tweeted out on Twitter. That's all it'll be. We'll obliterate this show. But it was a decent format, and I liked it.
Okay.
The one thing they did do was they talked about Elder Scrolls Online. And I don't know if I was dumb, which is very possible, but the way they phrased it was like, for the next 7 days, we're making Elder Scrolls Online and all of the expansions free for anyone to play. And I was like, this might be a fucking time to jump in, lads. Let's get into this. We can all do a community stream. We'll get into it. And it turns out you need to buy the game, and then you get the subscription that they have in it for free for 7 days. And I was like, fuck, I'm not buying the game. I thought I'd get a taste or something like that. And I was like, get out of here. But that would have been my first introduction to Elder Scrolls Online, if that helps you out there.
sorry, I'm just sort of. Here's the way they get you is this, or if you go and look at the old like World of Warcraft CG, the CG trailers are amazing.
I've seen them; they are fantastic.
And then you play the game and it's nothing like.
I was gonna say, how is that? Like, we sometimes say like CG trailers, they're not representative of the game. Guys, don't get excited, but they're kind of in the area. Granted, the fidelity drops a little bit because it has to run in real time, but they're kind of in there.
It's
when
because
it comes
you're an
to
addict.
these,
it's because you're an addict. By the time you're playing the game at any level, you're addicted to it.
Right. Diablo 4, for example, I was like, fuck, this trailer fucks hard. And then you get the game and I'm like, it's like top-down sort of thing.
Top-down RTS, yeah.
This is kind of taking the wind out of my sails right here.
Yeah. So it's because you're fully, deeply, seriously, genuinely addicted. What were we talking about? Morrowind and stuff. So have you played any of those older games? No, me neither. I played I played games, not just COD. So like obviously I played Dead Space and like the Mass Effect games and stuff. But it's just one that got past me. Also, I did play some of Skyrim. For some reason I was going to say
Skywind.
Yeah, I have played some Skyrim, but literally have never met the Greybeards.
You just got distracted. You were like, oh,
I genuinely did. And that was one of those points where I was like, okay, I have to stop this. At some point I have, because it gets to a point where I'm like, I specifically avoid the main quests. And I'm like, anytime I'm like, I'm specifically avoiding it, I'll go, is this one of those points where it knocks me out of the game? Okay, it's not, I should do it.
Yeah.
Once I get that urge to avoid it, I'm like, I should do it. You know? Anyway. So no, sorry, we haven't played those games.
Sorry to break your heart. BS Bro 2 writes in and he says,
are you gonna play Final Fantasy 9? If Final Fantasy 9 gets remade and comes out, would you play it? It's one that I've hyped up a lot, you know.
I don't know, because I haven't even played Final Fantasy 7 remake, and apparently that's like perfect.
Yeah, I haven't played it either because I played the original.
I've seen enough of Elva's reaction pictures on Twitter to know that it's a great game. I'm like, good. So
that one. Here's the reason.
I see that pale face and ginger hair, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. Good.
Here's the reason I ask about Final Fantasy 9, because FF7 is very much JRPG. Final Fantasy 9, and this is one of the reasons it didn't do so well as a game, isn't a JRPG. It is more like Western, medieval with airships. Using the JRPG model of like gameplay and stuff, or it will be when it gets remade. So it's going to be less JRPG-y than Final Fantasy 7, which I think would mean that you might vibe with it. Also, it's my favourite of the lot. So I'm trying to pitch it to you. Final Fantasy 7, by the way, is fantastic. It's an incredible game, and I've only heard good things about the remake. Yeah. So like, it's got to be good.
And it's got these gorgeous women in it, Tifa and Aerith. So what more do you need, eh?
Yeah, you got Dagger and Garnet technically, but Dagger and
yes,
it's the hot chicks.
Oh, the hell,
and Beatrix. Yeah.
Do you know what's funny to me? I must have posted was like a Henry Cavill Superman statue or something like that. Okay. And I was like, oh man, I would really want this. And then I looked at the price. It was like £2,500.
This is the one where you can like change his eyes and stuff. Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's easily worth the money, but you can't justify it.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not rich. I wish I was, but there we go.
Yeah, people don't realize we suffer to get the nice things that we want. Yeah.
Hamid sent me a link to another website that had a Tifa statue.
All right.
And the Tifa statue was literally legs spread apart, like that sort of angle.
That sounds about right.
Bent straight over forward.
Yep.
And skirt flying up, knickers. And in the statue,
is it that one?
Close. That pose, but instead of the sword, which is also weird in between her ass cheeks, there's a mirror.
Nice.
And I'm like, if the mirror isn't there, then you can see it. But it's almost like she's taking OnlyFans pictures of herself. That's the one.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well,
questions.
These are weebs.
These are your brethren. These are your brethren.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Just out of curiosity, what's the
how much is that?
Tag on
what's the waiting list on one of them? Because you know there's a waiting list.
You know there is. $500. $500. Yeah.
BS Bro 2 writes in and he says, Xbox devs and Activision... I think Activision devs are getting desperate for the acquisition to go through. They keep tweeting about how Sony is doing much better in terms of sales. The Activision CCO even compared The Last of Us TV show to the success and atted the FTC. I find this thing really sad, to be honest, because Xbox is clearly focused on getting more publishers to make them exclusive because they realize they can't make good games. That's the thing. The CCO tweeted was like, look, PlayStation are so successful. They just made this TV show, this hit TV show based on a hit game that sold millions and millions of copies. Yeah. Look how successful they are. As if the FTC is going to go, well, they're successful. Well, fair enough. Buy whatever you want over here. Yeah. That just shows that they shouldn't buy this company because they'll run it into the ground. That's almost like an admission of guilt.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is sort of very similar to you, which is their argument is, see, we're not hurting them if we do this. It's like, well, the argument isn't necessarily that you hurt Sony. Yeah. It's that you are effectively forming a monopoly of an entire industry, and that is harmful to the industry.
Right, it's the industry they care about. PlayStation, while they may be talking to them or something like that, it's not PlayStation's interests that they have necessarily at heart.
And also, them being successful on their own doesn't mean that your thing is no longer bad.
Yeah.
So
there was a tweet recently. PlayStation and Xbox put out their recent quarterly results of what's going on with Xbox. Minus 13% in hardware, minus 12% in content and services, total gaming revenue down 13%, whereas PlayStation on the other side thriving with plus 46% in hardware, plus 19% in network services, and total gaming revenue 53% higher than the last quarter. It's just a stark difference, isn't it? It's like, it just shows that Xbox really need those first parties to come out, and they need to be good. It's gonna...
Yeah, that's a big...
Listen, we said Halo needs to absolutely fuck hard. Now we're saying Starfield needs to absolutely fuck hard.
Oh, it won't.
I don't think it will as well. That's the problem.
I want it to. I actually want Starfield to be really, really good. I'm a big fan of sci-fi. We don't have enough good sci-fi. Like, if you think about the games I'm always talking about, is like the ones that just come up. Obviously, it's like forget Last of Us and stuff, but I'm always mentioning Mass Effect, Dead Space, Halo. I freaking love a sci-fi setting. I want it to be really good. It's gonna suck. Is my and that is based on the fact that it's based on two things. One, we've seen some of it, and it fucking sucked. And anyone tells you otherwise is an Xbox.
They're trying to get themselves.
It didn't look good, and now maybe it's a case of like the Halo Infinite thing. Well, it was an early build. Okay, well, forget we shouldn't have shown it, but okay, fine, maybe it was an early build. What we saw sucked. Who are the decision makers? Xbox. That is a recipe for disaster. I want it to be. I'd love to be wrong about it. In fact, one of those things I'm always talking about. I've been wrong about every Batman. I was wrong about Christian Bale. I was wrong about Batfleck. I was wrong about Pattinson. I said every single time this guy's going to suck, and I was wrong. Happy to be wrong, because it means to get a good Batman. I also thought Henry Cavill wasn't a very good pick for Superman.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I just thought he was the guy from...
300, not 300, the other Greek movie.
He was just like the guy from that?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I didn't think he could do it.
But it turned out he's Superman.
Right. Happy to be wrong about things like that. Because then it means I get a good Superman, I get a good Batman, we'll get a good sci-fi game. I don't care about that. I'd like to be wrong. Everything's telling me it's going to suck.
Yeah.
And then we have to be those guys that say, see, told you, and it's not because they don't have the resources, it's not because they don't have the developers, it's because they frickin' suck.
It's just poor decision making.
It really is, and it seems like every time we're proved right on that. Every time it ever comes out, it's just these guys made a bad decision, and no one can manage their teams properly because it's not a lack of talent, and it's not a lack of funding.
I do wonder if this Activision deal doesn't go through.
Yeah.
And Starfield, this is the worst case scenario, and Starfield isn't good, and like Redfall and the things they've already announced, stuff like that. Xbox was close to packing up shop and just giving up on gaming back when Don Matrick fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they do that again? They're like, look, we've got no investment now. We're at the low point. Do we just dip out? That'd be shit.
It would. Do you know what? As well, it's like
I want more competition.
That's my thing.
That would be. But do they? Do they dip out?
maybe they do, and we can pick up Xbox and all of its studios for a $5 and actually make some bangers. And then what I'll do is start a hate campaign against all the top brass, because I'll be proof that two idiots could make it work. So we should, grab the pitchforks, grab the sticks are on fire, torches. I know a word.
Those are, yeah.
And let's go after these fools. Yeah, no, it does genuinely concern me, because again, as much as we're only Sony ponies because they deliver for us. They are ultimately suits who will slip into just the money making stuff, which again is why I want the games as a service to fail. Without some competition from Xbox, which realistically, as from our perspective, Xbox has not been any competition. PlayStation obviously thinks they're competition because they have let Xbox lead them around by the nose. That whole backwards compatibility thing, that was an Xbox ploy because they knew they had no games.
They they appeal to a lot of consumers, and they want to rise up against corporations.
Yeah.
And they've tricked a lot of people into fighting their fight for them, and
they really did.
Yeah.
And so I think PlayStation were taking them seriously. If they fall over, that's a problem, because even though they aren't actual competition, for some reason PlayStation thought they were. But probably because they're based in the West, and PlayStation's biggest market, money-wise, is in the West. Yeah. Their primary market is Japan.
Yeah.
Because they're a Japanese company. They're run by Japanese, which means they're racists.
Racists.
So racist. But the big money makers come from Europe and North America. So the company that was based in North America, they consider to be who's their only real competition. You've got to worry about that.
Yeah.
I think I want a strong Xbox, and they're doing everything wrong. They're just trying to buy up stuff. Xbox already had a bunch of studios and a bunch of talent and a bunch of IPs, and they do nothing with it. Yeah. Sorry to rant the same rant 15 times, but
who's the studio that makes Gears?
Oh God, bless you. I cannot remember for the life of me.
The studio that makes Gears recently, it was revealed that they had two.
Bless you.
So sorry. They had two other projects. What's the name for it?
God, who are they, hon? Come on, man. Is it Epic?
No.
Created by Epic Games?
No, it can't be. That's got to be wrong. Gears of War. Who the fuck is
developed by Epic Games?
The Coalition.
Oh.
The Epic Games probably helped in it.
I think I just did a bad Google there.
I
was like, that doesn't sound right.
No. The Coalition. Apparently, they had two other smaller projects in the works, and they both got canned for another Gears of War game, which is
Gears of War.
Just
even at its biggest was niche,
and okay,
yeah.
I think the reason for that is because I think they've got a movie coming out with Dave Bautista. And I think they're trying to do the PlayStation, trying to capitalize on it, trying to get on the train. But if Halo's TV show is anything to go by, they're not going to make a good TV show or movie.
I scrubbed that from my mind.
Yeah.
Also, Gears hasn't been. No one's cared about Gears since Gears 3.
They really haven't.
Gears 3, I remember having good moments, but being kind of a letdown, and Gears 2 being the one we all liked. Maybe I got that back to front, but.
Like every game, there is a select group of people who love it, who want to play it, but for the most part, it's a forgettable series.
And also, the decision makers can't be trusted. The Halo show had one of the greatest IPs of all time, previously, not since 343 took it over, and one of the best sci-fi IPs. It's primed to be good. I really want you to finish Halos 1 through 3, just so you can experience it with me, and at least know what I was talking about, or see what I grew up with. And why I really hate.
And what happened to you? How did you turn out this way?
Well, it's because of Halo 4.
Halo 4 turned you into a raging...
You'll see, because you'll see what I grew up with those games, right? Like Halo 3 comes out in 2007. So from 2001 or whatever it is up to 2007, those are the games I grew up with. And then 343 comes along and brings out Halo 4. Anyway, it would be cool for you to play them and see. So at least you'd be like, I can see why you're saying that. Halo's an incredible universe. Incredible. You've got all the best elements of everything. There's a great romance. It's like it can never happen because it physically can't happen unless she gets into a fleshlight, right?
Perfect.
Right, the perfect woman. I'm so sorry.
We've said bad shit. That's the most derogatory thing we've ever said about a woman. Just
and
reduce
also,
them
we're
down
on the
to
wrong
a sex
podcast.
toy.
We're on the wrong podcast. Like, I still wouldn't tolerate it if it was Aloy. It's just not enough character. I'm sorry. I'm stopping. Like, there's this incredible love story, and it's true love, because there isn't a sexual. I mean, she's hot as fuck, but like there isn't an element there because she doesn't exist, right? So it's not like an objectification thing. Ironically, she is an object.
Ironically, yeah.
You know, so like it's really about them two and spending all this time together, and they're both effectively, if he dies, she dies too because she's in his helmet, right?
Yeah.
So they're risking their lives to get this stuff done and growing closer and developing and growing. And then they freaked out. They fucked up anyway. So this beautiful world and universe, and like mankind is super advanced, but not compared to the enemy. But then that's the enemy's own weak points. So like on the ground, we dominate because they don't do ground warfare because they're. But you need to take right. But then you need to take facilities and stuff. So the things that they want, we're good at holding and getting hold of and taking from them. But getting around and the whole planet, they can destroy. So it's like this really weird mix of what's going on. And then you put it in that show and not a single thing makes sense. And the worst thing, the guy who played Master Chief was actually really good. And I wasn't against the face reveal. I thought his face reveal was really good. I think he looks right to be John. And then they do all of that.
So let's show Master Chief ass. Let's do that. Why?
Like it just.
Anyway,
sorry, I hate that viscerally.
It's something near and dear to you, so I get it. I get it.
Just Xbox, please just make good decisions. You used to be great. You can be great again.
Just wait till PlayStation fuck up God of War, and then I'll be the guy. I'll be the guy.
It's got to be Christopher Judge. You're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to figure out a way, or what it's really gonna have to be is Christopher Judge CG'd on some young dude, who then the question is here's going to be the controversy for God of War. We do cast Christopher Judge. People are like, Christopher Judge is black, right? He's a black Greek guy, and then some people don't like it because they're idiots and haven't played the games.
Yeah.
But then, if the guy that plays Kratos that they CG his face onto isn't black, then what happens?
Blackface,
right?
Double racism.
Or you cast a black guy but didn't really cast a black guy. Or do they cast a black guy, but then he gets his identity removed effectively?
They were like, we put the black guy's face on for you guys, but his body was the superior white.
That would be the funniest shit, because we come and finally get these guys for being just the idiots that they are. Because there is no wrong decision. If you pick Christopher Judge, there's no other pick.
Yeah.
It has to be Christopher Judge. It has to be. There isn't someone else. This isn't a case of like, oh, Sam Witwer could do it, but we went with another actor. Like, that's a dumb decision, but like, fine, whatever. Like, there's no one else.
I can't.
There's no one else. And also, you got to make it soon because he's going to get too old.
Right? The fuck had double hip replacement surgery.
He's still in incredible shape, though. I mean, he looks amazing. Probably can't do too much in the way of like activity with the double hip replacement, but.
And that's the end of the show, bro. We have one more comment from here. It's a nice little thing to end on.
Yeah, boy.
Jedi Lola says, nothing to say, but I love you.
Gaming.
Oh. Thank you so much. We love you too.
Obviously, you have terrible taste in content and people.
Right. Yeah, there is that.
But
there is that.
Gaming.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of the True Gamer Podcast. I liked this episode, actually.
Yeah, so...
We spoke about a lot of good things.
I got a little bit excited. We verged into, you saw my laptop go like this. We verged into sort of Conbrosations podcast territory, but it's because it's been so long. I'm really happy to be back.
Yes, so am I.
And also, to answer your question, Alpha, once you get into it, the energy picks up.
Exactly.
I was really worried at the beginning.
I was, because I've been sick a couple of times, and I was like, man, don't be sick on the day we come back.
Yeah. We've both been sort of back-to-back sick since about December, innit? I just can't shake.
I can't.
I'm jumping from one thing to the other.
And the worst part is that the last thing that I had was I had my throat that was like swollen up. It's like I had a golf ball in my neck or something like that. And I got antibiotics for it, and I'm still on that course. And I was like, antibiotics are magic. They're gonna fucking knock this shit out. Yeah. I'm still fucking dead. I don't know what's going on. So either I've got something else, like lupus.
It's never lupus.
It's never lupus. Me and my girl watching it, and it's hilarious. Anyway. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. We'll see you guys again in 2 weeks with a Conbrosations podcast and a Tree Game podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'll see you again next time, bro.
Yeah, buddy.
Safe.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. And finally, those jokes will be in their appropriate place. Mate, have you seen those TikToks? Have you seen those TikToks where it's a guy comes into a room and is like, hey, we need some like menu music for this shooter. It's just for an N64 title. It doesn't have to go too hard.
Movie adaptation of a TV show.
Right. Doesn't have to go too hard. And then it's like the absolute banger slaps. Ding 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 ding. That music goes so hard.
So hard. We need to find out who the guy is that did that and be like, what the fuck?
I might make that my ringtone.
What right do you have?
How dare you?
All right. See you later, boys. Yeah.